Well, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody. Today, we have a very special guest. Mr. Ryan Sheckler is with us. How are you?
I'm doing good, man.
Dude.
Finally made it on.
Finally made it.
Yes. We've wanted you on since day one, and then we've been going for 6 years. So this is 6 years in the making for us, you know?
I think this is the episode that's dropping on our 6th birthday.
Really?
Yeah. June 6th.
Are you going to wish us a happy birthday?
Yeah, man. Happy birthday. Absolutely happy birthday.
You're our birthday present, dude.
Wow.
What great timing.
Incredible. It's incredible. No, but seriously, thank you for coming.
Yeah, man, of course.
We're super stoked you're here, and so many things to talk about. I mean, listen, your career is still just elevating all the time, but you've had such an illustrious career up till this point, so there's so much to talk about. We're stoked.
Definitely.
Yeah, man, it's been a long ride. It's definitely been a long ride for sure, and
we've all been around for the ride too. That's what's funny.
Yeah, I know that's the cool part, though. It's like, we were just talking about it a little bit earlier. It's like being in here, for the last 6 years, watching this and seeing it go down. It wasn't that I didn't want to be on the podcast. I just didn't know what I had to talk about that hadn't already been hammered to death. And at this stage in my life, this stage in my career where I'm at, it made perfect sense to come in, and I feel like a different person. I'm not so I'm not so cautious with my feelings anymore.
I can relate to that also on a personal level, but also the guests that we try to book, it's it's kind of the same stuff sometimes. It's like, well, I don't know what to talk about. I'm like, you've been skating for 35 years. We have a lot to talk about, But
it's always timing, dude.
That's what we've learned on this show too. Timing.
Yeah, the person's got to feel ready.
Everything.
For sure.
And I relate to what you just said personally too, but when you were saying that, I've thought of P-Rod instantly, because he was at a certain point and then he just started to relax and totally comfortable with himself and less reserved, so to speak. No,
I feel that.
Yeah,
I feel that.
It's interesting. Skateboarding's an interesting world to grow up in. It's very,
it's finicky.
It's just like a cat.
It's a little finicky, and it's it can be easily judged, which is understandable. Mm-hmm. It's understandable, and a lot of people, myself included, hold skateboarding very close to their hearts, and some people make decisions that I wouldn't necessarily agree with, but whatever decisions I was making, people were voicing that they didn't agree with. And,
sure.
And not to mention, I did put myself in the public eye for most of these occasions that I'm talking about.
100%.
And, but at the end of the day, dude, I really feel like it was for the greater good of my life and my career and a path that I was taking. And at the end of the day, I really feel that through my trials and tribulations, I was able to introduce skateboarding to people that might not have picked up a board.
100%.
Which in turn, that doesn't mean they're buying my board. They went out and they bought your board. They bought someone's board and started contributing to skateboarding. So
totally.
At the end of the day, I'm not bummed with where my career went, where it is, and where I am right now. I actually feel I had to go through everything that I did go through to be this comfortable and to still be here, man. I'll be 33 at the end of this year.
Okay.
Pro for 20 years and
crazy.
Amazing.
Been skating for 30 years.
Isn't that insane, bro? I mean,
That's
you
amazing.
15 years on Etnies, and
actually,
than that,
Etnies is will be 25 years.
25.
Dude, we literally watched
Wait a
you
minute.
grow up.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's
Wait.
the funny thing is we've been watching you since we first heard of you is when you were a kid, 7 or something?
Yeah.
7 was when I really started skating CASL and started winning CASL and kind of being in the groove there. And I got sponsored by Volcom, Oakley, and Etnies when I was 7, just turning 8.
Wow.
And so I've been on Oakley and Etnies since then. I've lived my life in Etnies shoes.
Right.
Everything that I've done in my skate career has been in Etnies Footwear.
Am I tripping? Have you had a pro shoe for 15 years? Or is
so we just, right now this year is the 10th year running of the Marana.
That's right.
So, which was my 7th shoe.
Amazing.
That's amazing that you actually found a shoe and that just stuck.
Oh, it's crazy. Like what we had to do to like get that shoe to be what it was so much of that. They got like the STI, the testing, all the lab that, Soltec had, where they had like the pressure pads in the floor, and they had made that crazy like set of stairs where it went from like 4 to 6 to 12, and they would test how much pressure you were putting through your foot and where it was actually coming through. And then they would create this like the foam and the insoles and everything. So
wow,
when the Marana was coming out, we were super involved in that technology and also in the testing of it. So like I was able, and especially at that time, I think it was 18, around 18, we were, I was jumping. That's when I was jumping. And I needed a shoe that was durable, that would last, and that I could take impact in. And so that was the whole goal behind the Marana: make it light, make it durable, make it last long. And it's lasted 10 years.
Still lasted 10 years. You guys did a fantastic job.
It's crazy.
Definitely.
It's so funny. We'll talk about more of that stuff, but it just reminded me of something when you were saying that we all grew up. We watched you grow up, and the first time that I actually saw you in person, it's such a funny story. Is that Skate Lab? It was still, helmet.
Yep.
Sheckler, and my board went across the skate park. It went across. I fell, which is the story of my career. I fell.
So rare.
And you grabbed it and brought it across the park back to me. And I was like, look at this.
Nice little
bro.
kid, dude.
Kid, I love this guy. But some skaters, they skate right, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It was just one of those things. I was like, dude, this is a rad kid.
Right.
From the get-go.
And honestly, I think that has to do with parenting and how I was brought up is respecting just people in general, and it's like when I was at the skate park as a little kid, I loved being there so much, and I felt that energy from other people being there. And so for me, it was like a no-brainer. Oh, you fell here. Here's your board. You know, I don't remember doing that, of course. But
it's funny that I that's one thing that stuck out. I was like, this kid's rad.
And those are moments that stick out, and and it might not be the same situation or same scenario, but I've always treated people who have supported me, fans, whatever it may be, like I know them, like they're my friend, because you never know. Dude, when I was growing up in skateboarding, I looked up to a few pros, won't mention names because it doesn't matter, but I had experiences where I was such a fan and they gave me no time, and all it would have taken was a smile or hey man, keep going.
Just
just
a
something.
fist bump, something.
Just something, soft, anything, but it was nah, I don't got time for you, and I was so turned off and so hurt by that that was never going to be who I wanted to be or how I was going to treat people.
Right.
Are these people still relevant? We don't have to say the names. But...
No.
All right.
All right.
No.
I mean, that's what it boils down to. Those people are, there for that time.
Yeah.
And that was their time.
Yep.
Right.
And then their time has gone.
Well, it's just funny how you learned from that. You're I never want to be like that. And then look at you now.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
totally.
And you definitely reap what you sow. It's attitude is everything, and how you treat others is absolutely everything. And
Straight up.
You never know. My interaction with the kid in Cuba, just giving him a board, that kid could turn out to be the next thing. He could not be, but it doesn't matter. It's the fact of I like that kid, you know, and I felt connected to that kid because we skate, and skateboarding is a connection. And over the years, it's been hard to grasp the fact of not one person runs skateboarding. Nobody owns skateboarding.
Right.
That's why skateboarding is what it is. I can skate different than you. You can skate different than me. But we skate. We know what it takes to learn a kickflip. So with that, we're already engaged. We're already together.
100%. 100%. I mean, we are a big family.
For sure.
Dysfunctional family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dysfunctional is proper.
That's a great way of describing it. But a lot of love in it still, too. But.
I mean, that's what we're all about here. I mean, I think we all have our own. I grew up in the 90s skating, so it was the talking shit era and this and that. And, I think a lot of people still want that kind of talking shit stuff, but, as I grew up as a person and stuff, listen, maybe behind the camera, I'm still talking a little shit here and there. But, we want to celebrate skateboarding.
Right.
We want to have, Ryan on the show. show and celebrate his, career and stuff
Yeah,
like that. So,
definitely.
I mean, that's what, it's just, skateboarding is so beautiful. I mean,
art.
we live, breathe it, eat it.
Yeah.
I've tasted my skateboard. It's not that good, but
Same,
Chocolate.
bro.
Yeah.
That was
Same.
pretty good.
but I think what I'm trying to say is it's a beautiful thing. We're all in it together, and we all
Yeah.
are as one
Yeah.
together.
I agree.
No matter gender, race, anything.
Yeah, I mean, dude, skateboarding.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, that's why we're here at this table.
Yeah.
And I appreciate
love.
it.
Yeah, dude.
Even
Isn't
the table's a
beautiful?
skateboard.
Yeah, skateboarding, bro. First of all, congratulations. You found your chill chick.
I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got married.
That's a little bit of talking shit right there.
No, what do you mean? I want to talk, bro. Life of Ryan
I
was
know.
huge, and we want to
know.
get into that because
I
that's
know.
an interesting
Yeah.
topic. But
Yeah.
congratulations,
Thank
bro.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Just got
Definitely,
married
bro.
3 months ago.
Yeah, we got married in March. Wow. Yeah. March 3rd, man. Yeah, it's dope.
Oh,
Congratulations,
shit.
man.
Dope.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful,
Big accomplishment.
beautiful thing.
I couldn't ask for anything more, dude.
Yeah.
It is perfectly aligned with like where my life was, where her life was, like how we met. Like we met straight out of a movie, just walking our dogs on the beach trail, and like,
Wow.
and it was super crazy because I don't think I was looking for anyone, and she definitely wasn't looking for anyone. But like, our dogs like connected, and it's all because of our dogs for real. And then like, I started talking to her, and I was super nervous, and it was just like this whole situation that was just like so pure, and I gave her my number. She never called me, and like I was like tripping, 'cause I wasn't used to that, and I was like, to be honest, I wasn't used to that. I was like, man, like
I love that.
I'm like, what's going on? And I went on the beach trail the next like couple days at the same time, and just
right.
just trying to figure out like maybe she'll walk again. And then I saw her, and I even asked her like super, I'm so nervous, bro. And I'm like, hey, I know I gave you my number. Like, did I give you the wrong number, or did you just not call me? And like snap call, she's like, I just didn't call you. And I was like, perfect, like
Okay.
rad. This girl's super
real.
rad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Super
real.
rad.
Yeah.
And we ended up hanging out a little bit later, and we just took it super slow. And she's been with me those 2 years before we got married. We're super gnarly, like I had just had to go back into treatment for drinking, and that was like right at the start of us dating, and I totally expected and would have been okay with her bailing, like that's a gnarly situation in itself. And she didn't go anywhere. She was there with me the whole time, and it was really
Amazing.
cool. She had my back, and
I love that.
and then a couple months after that, sober and doing good. And then I was filming for this Red Bull project that's finally going to come out in October, which I'm super psyched on, but it's taken almost 3 years to like get to this
damn.
point.
Wow.
I snapped my ACL and had to do full repair surgery on that, my meniscus. And, that took over a year, but like a week after my surgery, my grandma died, who's like my best friend, and so like this first 6 months of us dating was like rehab, ACL, grandma, like,
Yeah.
and I'm still trying to figure out like how to plug myself back into society and like, live without substance, live without drinking, like just trying to do the right thing. And she just stayed by my side the whole time, dude. And she's my lady.
It's tough because you feel like you're dragging them with you, on this journey, this bumpy road, so to
Right.
speak,
Yeah, but I needed her, it was a
Yeah.
godsend.
That's
It was an
amazing.
absolute godsend, and it's awesome.
All because of the dogs.
And it's our dogs, it's
Yeah.
Walter and Leo, bro, and
Wa-
they're best friends.
Walter and Leo.
Yeah, bro.
I love that. I got a cat
Yeah,
named
so
Larry,
rad.
so
There
I
you
love
go.
human names
There you go. Yeah.
for pets. It's the best.
Yeah, so it was cool, man. It was super
Man,
cool, and I
love that.
Such a blessing,
Dude, hey, congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's amazing. And but we, I prefaced that whole thing with the life of Ryan,
Yeah.
finding a chill girl and all that. But I found that interesting, the life of Ryan stuff, because you started that at what, 18?
Yeah, 17.
17.
Yeah.
And I heard somewhere that you didn't want it to interfere with your skating. And if it did interfere with the skating, you would quit,
Yep.
which ended up, that's what happened.
Exactly
It's
what
like
happened.
3 seasons and you were like, no more.
Yeah,
this is fucking up my skating.
Yeah, and my life.
Seriously.
Yeah, and my life.
What do you mean? Just
Well,
the notoriety and the...
No, at the time it was funny because it was like I was hanging out with Rob Dyrdek all the time.
Yeah.
And Rob was my guy, and it was Rob's idea. We were just rapping out, we were talking, and he's like, you should get a show. Like, your life is actually like insane.
Okay.
Your friends are insane. You know, we were on a hot contest run where, like, you know, every other contest I was winning, and and it was just fun. We were traveling, we were flying private, we were doing all sorts of gnarly stuff, you know, and I was interested in it. You know, at that time I was interested. I was like, oh, that could be cool. And I had this idea that it was going to be more kind of like Rob and Big, where it was like funny and like kind of cool and relaxed, and you're going to get to do cool stuff.
Yeah.
And then we like filmed the pilot, and all the characters kind of came together, which were all my best friends and my family. And then I started seeing like, okay, it's going to be a little bit more drama, but as long as I'm going to these contests and as long as I'm winning and as long as I'm skating street, like, it'll be fine.
It can fit in somewhere.
Yeah, it'll be fine. And then it was like first season was all right, and I was still like on the pink cloud of like, oh, this was cool. I got to do a show, you know, like I'm gonna sell boards, and you know, I was just very like me, just like in self, like what's this gonna do for me? You know, not really thinking about like what's this gonna do to my 7-year-old brother? Like what's this gonna do to my 14-year-old brother? You know, the dynamic between my mom and dad, which like for a long time for me, I thought I was the reason that caused that divorce. So it's like there was just a lot that was playing, and I still didn't know who I was. You know, like all I had known
17
and been talked to like was a professional skateboarder. And that's really how I found my identity, was like I didn't know my identity outside of Ryan the skateboarder at all. I didn't have one, you know. And
you're almost being forced to find an identity on camera. Right.
You know, and like some days are way worse than others, but it didn't matter. I woke up every morning to like 4 cameras in my face, and then, you know, I didn't know until later that they would like tell my mom to like bring something up because they knew me so well that would like cause me to like act like a punk, you know, like act like a little kid, throw a fit.
Okay.
Oh, wow. What?
Which was like, I was a kid, you know, I was 17, you know, I'm like, I'm trying to figure this all out. And
that was the producers doing that?
yeah,
It's kind of what they do. They kind of bait you.
yeah.
And then they talk to other cast members and get that, hey, this person said this over here. And then they try to get the...
Well, how's like, they call it reality TV, but it's like some scripted stuff going on, right?
Well,
So
that was the thing. It wasn't really scripted, you know. They kind of knew what we were doing. They knew our schedule. They knew what was going on. They knew like family dynamics and stuff like that. So they'd be like, well, we need you to talk about this. You know, it wasn't like we didn't have a script where it was like Ryan, Mom, like Kane.
Yeah.
It wasn't really like that. There was always like an A story and a B story. So we knew like, I always loved the A story because it was like skate. That was dope.
Yeah.
Okay. And then B was like, well, Casey's, you know, relationship with his girlfriend or whatever, you know. We're like, all right, we gotta talk about that, you know. And like,
that must be weird.
it was a lot, dude. It was a lot. And then like what really happened that really fried me out on the show was like, I didn't know, and neither did MTV, that my parents were like gonna split up. So that was like crazy. And like you gotta know, like I grew up with them as a whole unit, you know. Like my mom was stay-at-home mom and like took us to skate every week, took us to the contest. My dad was grinding at 2 companies, building all of our ramps, buying our boards, like, and this is in between too. Like we were racing dirt bikes, racing go-karts, like we were doing everything.
Yeah.
And so like my family was they provided so much, and we were so close, dude. We were so close. And for them to split the way they did, and the kind of the way the thing happened, you know, like there was a big fight that didn't get filmed, thank God.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Right.
didn't get filmed. And then I left the next day after this fight, and it wasn't like there's no hands getting put on. It was just like a verbal like it was just like gnarly, you know. And I was in the center of it, and I totally was like, oh, I just caused a divorce,
Right.
Because I didn't want to clean my room.
Oh, whoa.
You know, like some punk kid stuff.
Sure.
You know, and I like slammed
Sure.
the door in my dad's face, and it was like, oh no, like it blew up, you know, it blew up. And so I left on a trip the next day to go film Street Dreams
Okay.
in Ohio. And then when we got home, my dad was gone, you know? And so like this whole thing is like going off in my brain, but MTV had just came back to pick up filming. And so like we had to talk about it now.
Of course they wanted you to talk
So now we had to
about
talk about it.
Right.
And I couldn't talk about it without crying.
Yeah.
And which is like a normal reaction for me. I'm actually really like super emotional guy. Like I feel a lot. Like I love and like I love the people around me.
Yeah.
You know, and I would give anything for the people around me. But that was looked at as being soft, you know, especially in the skate world, which whatever, it don't matter. But like they start calling me Crying Ryan and like,
Right.
you know, and I tried to play into it like, oh no, yeah, Crying Ryan, it's funny, but that hurt my feelings, you know.
I'm sure
it was
it
like
did.
it was kind of gnarly.
Yeah.
But you know, looking back on it now, it's just like I always think about it like if any other 17-year-old on the planet had that opportunity to like go travel, stay at the craziest hotels, like be at those contests, be in the planes, be at the parties, like would they not take that opportunity?
I'm sure almost damn near every 17-year-old on the planet would take that opportunity.
Yeah.
But but nonetheless, I mean, like you said, like the parents' divorce and then having all these cameras around you.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's heavy stuff to deal with.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
And for you to be being filmed like vulnerable on camera at that time,
Right.
You know, so it's like
Yeah.
having those emotions be drawn out on camera now.
How do people think you're soft if like it's not like your parents took your toys away? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's your parents' divorce. Like that's
Yeah.
mine did too. And like I know but to having to deal with that publicly is like a whole different story, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't hold a grudge to anyone or to anything that happened in that time. You know, I get it. It's not just the fact of like the parents splitting up. It was like, you know, there were things in the show that are kind of cringy. You know, like I can't watch the show now. You know, as an adult, like I'll watch a little bit of it and I'm like, man, it's embarrassing. But it's also like that's where I was at that point in my life. That's who I was, you know, trying to figure out who I was. And I learned a lot from that. So I needed that experience and I needed that flack from skating to like catch a fire that was just like, all right, man, like at the end of the day, no matter what these people think about this show, I can stop this. And if I just shut up and get into action and just skate,
Right.
it's all going to go away.
Yeah.
Totally.
And it kind of did.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly what
you
it did,
shut a
for
lot of
sure.
people up. Yeah.
Oh, dude, definitely. But it always, man, it's a hurtful thing. I mean, like you said, you're sensitive. I think we all are to a certain degree, levels and stuff like that. I know I cry during Extreme Makeover Home Edition when they move the bus and stuff. Like I'm seriously, it's heartwarming. Like
I mean, it's
free
rad.
stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
But when you have your own community as skateboarders turning on you almost,
Yeah.
it's hurtful.
No,
And I mean, I know it. I go through it too, you know? I mean, even right now, 44 years old, you know, it's like, it sucks.
Yeah.
But
Never in person, right? It's always just like
Oh.
on the internet or some crap.
I mean, yeah, it's like it's internet and stuff like that, or like kids will, you know, when I was younger, 17 for sure, like I'd go to autograph signings and kids would think that it was cool to pop off about, you know, how my mom looked or like what they wanted to do to, you know, like just and I couldn't stop myself, you know? So like, yeah, things got physical for a bit and then I realized like that's not helping anything. And I don't want to be that dude that's like jumping off at a kid for, you know, for words,
Right.
you know? So it was like a really good, big learning lesson for me to like kind of take what people were saying with a grain of salt and like understand that like hurt people. So like this kid, like whatever he's saying to me, like who knows what his family life is like, you know, at home, like who knows, man? Like I don't know, but he's lashing out and I'm the closest target for him to lash out at. And like, you know, in my age now where I'm at in my career and just in my life, it's like that stuff still happens to me. And I just pray for these people. Like I just pray, you know, like, man, I just pray for peace. Like pray that they can get through whatever situation they're going through and like, you know, that the pain would stop. But it's crazy, dude. Hurt people, and it's like it's crazy.
It is.
No doubt.
It is. So with the Life of Ryan, 3 seasons. Last season was cut short. Did you?
Yeah.
Was it just your decision? You're like, no more. I'm done with this.
Yeah, I was
wanna
done.
Skate.
I was absolutely done, and I didn't want to do the 3rd season.
Oh, really?
But they had it in our contract was they had first right of refusal. So if they wanted it, they got it.
Wow.
So I wasn't very active in that. Like
Okay.
I wasn't about it. So
Yeah.
and they could tell my energy wasn't there, and really no one's energy was there for that.
Yeah.
And so the way they got back at us was they did the 3rd season, but then they played every episode on a Tuesday at like 11 o'clock in the morning, and they just played through the episode, the whole season one time, and then it never played again.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you saw the 3rd season,
That was it.
you must have been there on that one Tuesday.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
my God. Well, listen, good riddance. I mean, like you came through that. And like we were saying before, you got on your board and you let the skating do the talking.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. And
You know?
like I said, valuable lesson, dude. It's like if I do anything now that's video or like something productive like that, like I need 100% creative control.
Yeah. Right. Which you didn't have. In
Which I
MTV.
didn't have, no.
Right.
And so it
Right.
has to be my project.
Yep.
It has to be what's going on with me and with the crew that I've picked.
Mm.
And we have the say on what actually gets put out. So it was a learning lesson.
It's
for sure.
smart, though. It's
Yeah.
smart. I mean, this day and age, people just want content, and they're
Yeah.
going to put out whatever content that they think is good content, with or
Right.
without your, approval.
For sure.
So you need that.
How
need
did-
that approval.
How did your friends feel about the whole show? Like they were in it,
Like, how do they feel now, or how did they feel when it was going on?
going on. Like, were they stoked to get all this like fame, even though like it was all based around you?
Yeah, I mean, I think they enjoyed it to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I could definitely feel like into season 2, like definitely no one wanted to do season 3.
Yeah.
But like into season 2, it was kind of getting to that point of like, man, we don't really like this ain't really for us.
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
But at the end of the day, we still did it.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's fun. Like I still best friends with the whole
Yeah.
the whole crew.
That's so
we
tight,
talk we
right.
talk about it, and
Yeah.
every once in a while we'll all be together and they're like, oh, are you Tony from Life of Ryan?
Tony.
And I'm like sitting there, and but they like Tony was their favorite character, so it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's cool, man. Like it's funny now. It's funny now, and it's an experience that we
Sure.
wouldn't take back. I wouldn't take it back, but it just got to a point where it just didn't feel right anymore.
Yeah.
It was taken away from skating.
Yeah.
Where I wanted to be,
Totally,
like what
yeah.
I was trying to do on my skateboard, which I didn't know what I was trying to do. I just know I wanted to like film parts, be a skater, compete, like try to push the brands that I was with, and like it started kind of hindering it a little bit.
Yeah. I thought it was nuts because I grew up in Orange County in Laguna Hills, and I would like Laguna Beach was going on and your show. I was like, Orange County is popping right now. I was like,
It was popping.
Yeah.
Kelly's waving
Like-
the flag over there.
No, but I was just like,
I know.
but like,
Stand up.
no, but like, I knew this lifestyle you guys lived a little bit, not
Yeah.
like to your extent, but it was wild to like, people are really tripping out on how Orange County is. That's
Oh,
how
yeah.
everyone grew up in Orange County.
Straight up.
I mean, not as like you weren't as good as skaters as you, but it was like, it was interesting, dude.
It was crazy. And then like they just like banged on us, dude. They gave us this time slot after Laguna Beach or after the hills. So like, and they had 4 million people watching it,
Yeah.
and like, this is when like TV, like that was all you got, was like, you had to get TV ratings. Like you had to see how many people you could get to stay on a Friday night at 10 o'clock.
Totally.
And we were having like 2.3s, 2.6s. I think our most watched episode was like a 2.9, which is like 2.9 million people tuned in
That's amazing.
on a Friday night at 10 o'clock to like watch our drama. It was like, it was great. My favorite episodes were like the X Games one, where it was like, it was real, like some of the Do Tour ones were awesome. Like my favorite episodes were always the ones like, or hanging out with my little brother. Like
Okay, yeah.
that was rad,
Right.
So there was stuff that I did like
Sure.
doing and like fun episodes, but then they were like, that's too fun. We need drama.
Drama. Yeah.
Like, all right.
It's a shame because like if they had like made the show different. It could have been a lot more fun for you, you know?
Yeah.
And it could have lasted a long time.
It could have, dude.
But-
With a little bit more, like, with a lot more creative control.
Exactly.
And, like, fun ideas. And it just, you know, we were kids, and
Yeah.
everybody that was on the show was, you know, 18, 19. And they were all, like, they knew that wasn't going to be their life. My life was skateboarding. So, like, if the show left, at the time, I was still pro. So I was still going.
You're chilling,
I'm
yeah.
still going to go
Yeah.
skate. I'm still going to go travel. They had to think about, like, well, school, like, I got to go to college, like, I got to get a job, like, I got to figure something out. So it would have never lasted.
Yeah, okay, I see.
It
I
couldn't
see.
have lasted.
Damn, life of Ryan, huh? Well, listen, we had touched on 25. Wait, you said 25 years of Etnies?
Yeah.
And how old were you? Were you when you got sponsored by Etnies?
7.
When did you get on a skateboard? When you were -1?
It feels like it. No, 2. I was on a board. I was on a board at 2.
Butt boarding? Just, I mean, did you have a
On all fours.
You had you found a board in the garage or
Yeah, it
something?
was my dad's. It was my dad's board. He always had the board around, and
You just jumped.
I
on
was
it.
just obsessed with it. I think I was more obsessed with the wheels, and he flipped it over, and then I just got on it
Yeah.
and just started moving. And I think what drew me to it, and I was just thinking about this the other day, was like there must have been something that was like something that drew me to the skateboard, and I think it was like rolling on the ground, like how it felt in my hands, you know, or like how the vibration of like
I was gonna say.
the floor felt. And I gradually just like stood on it pretty quickly after, and then like 3 I was definitely standing and rolling down the driveway and going off the curb at 4, and then
I love that.
broke my elbow for the first time at 5.
Oh wow.
What? Wow.
Would you fall back or something?
No, I was
or-
trying to ollie over a picnic table, like a little Fisher Price picnic
Okay.
table that we had, and my neighbors had a kicker ramp, and so they had that little black kicker ramp set up over the thing, and I just like, I missed it. My foot went in, I fell over, and that's the first time I broke my left elbow.
Damn.
At 5.
I would end up breaking this left elbow about 5 more times, and then right elbow 4 times.
Weird that the elbows
Yeah.
are susceptible on your like. I
I
mean, the
was-
way that you slam maybe is.
Yeah, I think I was just like didn't know how to fall, and
Right.
still I broke them a lot when I was like when I knew how to fall.
Sure,
too.
sure.
I just like I think it was just one of those things like initial reaction, but now I'm like they don't come out.
Are we talking about a hyper? Are we talking about a hyperextension? Or are we talking about
Yeah,
like,
but hyper. Well, 8 years old when I went to Woodward for the first time, I had showed up with a sprained elbow, so I had like a I don't know
Little wrap or
ace
something.
bandage on
Yeah.
it, and got super psyched to skate. They were doing this like bowl jam or whatever, and it's a 5-foot quarter pipe, and it could go to flat. And I literally am off the plane, made that hour and a half drive to Woodward, PA. Ollied off this thing, slipped back, and broke both of them.
Oh my god.
at the same time.
And that's from like full pressure on the ground.
okay.
So that was like real breaks. And yeah, dude,
at Woodward.
at Woodward. So I got casted up and stayed.
You stayed.
Yeah, I
You
stayed. My
skated?
mom was with me, so like she
Okay.
could help me like go to the bathroom and like everything I
Oh my
needed. 'Cause
gosh.
I was a kid, I couldn't do anything, you know.
Were they
but-
the arm that they
yeah,
it was full to the
full on, you
to
know.
the
One was
bicep?
worse than the other, so like I got one off pretty quick, but and then the elbows, and I was cool with breaking elbows. Like,
Yeah.
I was like fine with that as long as
I mean,
my feet and
I was-
legs stayed good.
I was
yeah.
gonna say
I was
yeah.
all right. I could skate with that.
You're still
Right.
skating around with the elbow.
Oh, for sure.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
I love it.
But yeah, once it started getting a little lower, it was like, okay, I gotta
Yeah. Damn.
figure this out.
So at 7, how does one? I mean, are you you're skating the castles back then?
Yeah.
And is that how you got discovered?
Yeah, CASL, California Amateur Skateboard League. That was like that was huge for us.
Yeah.
That's like all there was really.
Sure.
Everyone came through CASL, man. And I remember my neighbors were talking about it, and I guess one of the dads told my dad, and he was like, all right, yeah, we'll go check it out. And me and Shane entered, and I think my first contest I was 6 in the minis, or I think that was the group, the minis, and I won a contest. You know, I won the first one that I tried.
Amazing.
And I remember being super nervous though beforehand, but then I was like able to like feed off of that and like turned it into skating for me, and I loved it.
Wow.
And from that point on, it was just like I kept going up ranks or classes year by year until I finally made it to factory. I made it to factory when I was like 12, and I won the state championship, and that got me a kind of a wild card pretty much to go skate. What was it? It was like a Vans Triple Crown. I ended up winning that, and then that got me a wild card to X Games. And then I won X Games, and then I got invited to go skate like Slam City Jam. And then there was one more that year, and like I ended up winning all 4 events that year.
That's
Just riding off a high of like being able to like skate with the people I look up to, and like
Whew.
And you were winning money as well with this?
that's like I don't know if I was allowed to take the money.
Oh, okay, because you're so young.
Because I wasn't pro.
Ah.
Because I wasn't pro. But that's when like I turned pro at 13 for Almost, which I would have been pro for World Industries, but I had two or three boards for World that were ready to drop that never did.
Huh.
And then Rodney called me and asked me if I wanted to ride for Almost.
Ah, okay.
And so I switched over to there.
Which isn't a bad switch. I mean, it's
which
a good.
was crazy.
Why was it crazy?
Because we had the situation was awesome, but
Okay, yeah.
the circumstance was crazy because we had this was like home phone time, and Rodney Mullen got our home phone number, and we had been getting prank calls and stuff like that, and my dad was like pretty short on the phone. And Rodney called and was like, Mr. Sheckler, it's Rodney Mullen, like in his voice, like super calm, super soft, and my dad was just basically like,
Nah.
F off, like don't ever call back here. And I heard him say that. I was in the living room, and I was like, who's that, Dad? He's like, some guy saying he's Rodney Mullen. I'm like, Dad.
Oh my God.
It was.
Like, call him back. And so that's like when Star 69 worked. So like
Star 69.
Star 69 to him and got him back on the phone, and he was like, no, your son is amazing, blah blah blah. Like we're starting a company out of Dwindle called Almost, and we'd love for Ryan to ride for it. And then I got on the phone with Rodney, and he told me the same thing, and then that was history. Then I started riding for Almost.
But before that, but you said you were going to have some boards on World.
Yeah, I was riding for World Industries for a long time. I'm trying to think. I rode for Brian Patch's skate company, Clockwork.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
For a while, and then got on. I got on World Industries. Steve Rocco. I think I got on World when I was like 8, maybe 9.
I love that.
And then dude, I rode for World for a long time.
But wouldn't you already know Rodney at this point?
That's the funny thing is like I knew of him.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Right.
But I never really like got to skate with him or see him. But I guess he had been watching like the progress of my career or whatever.
Sure.
And he wanted.
And World was a part of Dwindle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
At that point?
Yeah.
So he was like poaching on the brand.
It's kind of what they did there back then.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah,
I mean, they would take different people
There's a
from
lot of
different
people.
squads.
There's a lot of good skaters that
For sure.
kind of farmed out of there.
Yeah.
I wonder how many times Rodney Mullen's been hung up on. Just
I
for
don't
that
know.
reason.
I don't
Like,
know.
this ain't Rodney Mullen. Later, bro.
I bet it's pretty hard to even find his phone number now.
Oh, yeah.
I think he just chills.
Yeah.
I think he just chills.
But so was there a dilemma like, do I just stay pro for World, or it's like I can't refuse a Rodney Mullen call?
Were they turning you pro for Almost right away?
Yeah, it would have been pro.
Okay.
It was it was turned pro, but like they were already ready to turn me pro for World Industries, and I already had graphics, and so I think one of those graphics translated over to Almost, because for a while we just had those blanks that said Almost a skateboard company on it, which I really liked those boards.
Yeah.
That's the board I actually won X Games on, was like just pretty much a blank that they just slapped Almost on.
Yeah.
But to me, I didn't know, dude. Like the plan was not to go pro at 13. Like I would skate with my friends out front of my house, and they were older than me, and like we would all like, we would talk about like what it would be like to turn pro when we thought we would go pro, and like my number was always 21.
Oh.
I was like 21, I'll go pro, because that gives me enough time to like learn what I need to learn and like put the time in to be pro. And then so when the opportunity came at such a younger age, it was like super surprising to me. It caught me way off guard. And I think that's why those years were like so good for me, because I didn't understand really what pro meant. Like, yeah, cool, my name was on a board, but like I didn't understand. There was still no obligations. I was a 13-year-old kid living at home, going to school.
Right.
You know, like I was going to school and traveling on some trips here and there, and it was crazy. It was just crazy.
Damn.
Did you go to school? Did you stop going to school at a certain point, or did you go all the way through high school?
No, I didn't go all the way through high school. I went to freshman year. I went to a full year freshman year, which was dope. I thought it was dope. I needed it. Like I wanted to go to school just because like I felt like I was already hanging out with so many adults that I wasn't really in touch with like the kids that I wanted to hang out with and like grew up with and like shared like the same kind of, I don't know, likes that I did. Like I didn't know I didn't know how to like relate with adults that I was on trips with. Like, you know, I was just the little kid that was like getting made fun of and like picked on, and it built character for sure, but I definitely needed to be around kids my own age. So like I did freshman year. Sophomore year, I did homeschool, or like this private homeschool thing. And then junior year, I started going to private homeschool. And then my parents split up. And kind of as a rebellious kid, I was like, well, if you can't stay together, I'm not going to school. And at that point, I had already been traveling the world, you know, and like I had already been like figuring out how to like blend into whatever culture and wherever I was and not be like a sore thumb, you know, like just kind of. So I felt like my world skills, like my world knowledge was like enough to like, I didn't really need school. I was always good at math. Like I always loved math. My dad's an engineer and mechanical engineer. So like we would always be working on math and stuff like that. So like I figured I knew enough to get by no matter what, you know, and I could travel, which was
the best thing.
That was the best thing, and I was
100%.
safe. I was safe when I was traveling.
Right.
You know, I wasn't like that idiot like tourist that like always finds the wrong street or is always in trouble. You know, like I knew how to get around, and so yeah, I never finished high school. I always wanted to. Thought
maybe a little GED or something. You know,
I thought about it, dude, and then I started trying to do it, and I was like, I'm not doing this.
You're doing just fine, dude.
Yeah, I think you're okay.
I'm over it.
You're okay.
You know,
but I mean. Listen, it's kind of the skateboarding. A lot of skateboarders don't finish.
Yeah,
you know, it's all that stuff is happening right at that time. You know,
sure,
traveling and stuff.
For sure.
And to be honest with you, traveling and seeing the world, as a parent, I don't know. I think, how often do you get that opportunity? You know, it's like that.
Right.
I probably would have never left the United States if it wasn't for skateboarding. Like
same.
straight up.
I don't know what I'd be doing.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I mean, you started at a young age, which actually, I was just thinking about this because you might be the perfect person to answer this question, or me, you might not even know. Whenever I see like a young skateboarder coming up, like a kid, they're 7, they're 8, but they rip, they're getting all this attention and stuff. And I'm always like, I wonder if that's good for him, you know, to get all that attention and get sponsored and do this at such a young age. You know, and you were that kid, right? I mean, all this stuff was happening for you.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you could look back on now and be like, oh man, maybe that happened too fast? Or because you seem, I mean, you know where I'm getting at right now?
Yeah, totally.
It's like,
I think there's a balance.
Yeah.
You know, I think there has to be a balance.
For sure.
And for me, there was a balance. You know, I was in private school. Like, I got to skate when my homework was done, like when grades were good. Like we could not get a C. Like we could not get a C in our grades, 1st through 8th grade.
Right.
Freshman year, I did all right, but I did have to start traveling at the end. So like teachers weren't working with me, which is fine. But as a young kid, like there were benchmarks that I had to hit. Like I had to do good in school so that I could skate. And so
you had structure.
I had structure. And that transferred to me today. I'm very, very routine, up at the same time, breakfast at the same spot, train at the same spot. Like my 7 to 12 every day is accounted for with business, like AA calls. Like I'm handling all my stuff the exact way that I need to do it to be a functioning member of society. So like once 12 o'clock hits, then I'm the world's.
You could play. You could
Then I'm all right. But like for me and for my sanity, like I have to be this routine.
Oh, interesting.
Every day. Every
That's
day.
probably from the upbringing of the structure that you had.
For sure. And so I
Yeah.
think it's good for kids. And now, you know, I see a lot of these kids coming up that are 8 years old that, you know, not only are they skating and ripping, but they're also really good at school. They're super good with their family, and they're maybe doing like soccer or like baseball or another sport. So it's not all skating. They have a structure.
Yeah.
And I also think that's really cool because, you know, skateboarding is dope and you can always skateboard, but it might not be for everyone to have a career in
Yeah.
skateboarding.
Yeah,
True.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know,
We've
which
seen-
is
yeah.
fine
Totally.
because you can always
Totally.
be a skateboarder. It's
Yep.
just like to make this your absolute life and what you do for a living and to be on all the time. It's not for everyone.
100%. Yeah.
It takes one good injury to see if someone's going to stick around or not.
Very
You know
true.
how many
That's
people
true.
say, I used to skate, man. I broke my ankle, man. I stopped that shit.
Of
You know,
course.
it's like,
Right
yeah,
after.
well, you weren't,
course.
you know.
You weren't one of the guys.
No.
But it happens, and I understand
Yeah,
that, you know,
totally.
because a solid injury can definitely make you think. I've had some gnarly injuries, and not once have I done something and been like, oh, maybe not going to skate anymore. It's always
It's not
like,
even on your mind.
no, it's like, man, how did I do that?
Right.
And I'll watch the clip, and I'm like, what was I even thinking about? Like, that's such a simple mistake that I made that was so catastrophic. I'm out for a year now because maybe I was thinking about, like, what color the balloon was that was flying by when I should have been, like, focused. Like,
Exactly.
skateboarding's in milliseconds, and you know this. We all know this. It's like, unless you're in the moment and present doing that trick and you think about something else for that millisecond, even like it could even be shorter than that. Like that's the difference between skating tomorrow and being out until
Totally.
2023.
And I think we can all relate to like it. You always get hurt when it's just you're just dorking around
For sure.
or
Yeah,
just
no.
messing around, and boom, you're not because you're not in the moment. You're not paying attention.
Right.
You're not focused.
Right.
You know. But yeah, that's crazy, man. But you know, like there's so many young kids now that are skating. I mean, Haisa just turned pro. She's what, 14?
14 or 15,
I mean,
She is so good.
her
Yeah.
career
She's
is
unbelievable.
just
She's so good.
beginning.
Yeah.
Just think about that. She's insane.
Unbelievable.
But
Yeah.
and then so almost, I mean, star-studded squad right there.
Yeah, that was
You
dope.
know, that's a great. I mean, Tori Pudwill,
Well, when I was on, it was like,
Day One,
it was Day1, Rodney, Cooper
Cooper
Will.
Wilt. Yes,
Cooper was like one of my
love
favorite
that
skateboarders.
dude. I love
So
that
good.
dude.
Chris Haslam,
Yeah.
who I was like his mini me.
Mhm.
Anything Chris did, I wanted to do. Not just like skating, but like dress. Like he was and is the coolest dude. And
He's awesome.
and he really helped me like grow into a skateboarder. I was really thinking about it the other day. Hoops sent me over like some classic clips of skating in Vancouver, Canada. And I started remembering, and it was like, dude, I was going on those trips. Like, my mom was letting me just fly out to Vancouver, and I would stay with Haslam for a little bit. And then, kind of when he got over me, he would ship me down to Paul Macnow's house, and then I would
Amazing.
stay, and then
Wow.
I'd stay at Macnow's house.
Amazing.
And then, like me and Macnow and Galileo Mabaloo, we would all go skate, and we would film, and like that was kind of my crew. That's when I was really repping Red Dragon super hard because
Yeah.
I felt a part of, you know, and like. That's how I met Sluggo and all the bros. And then I would go on like Red Dragon trips. And
You're an honorary Canadian.
yeah, I
you
mean,
go.
that's what they were saying, you know, like,
Basically.
but
That was a heavy squad back then, dude. Mac now,
for sure, dude.
heavy the front side, no sides. He was doing the huge.
Yeah,
shit.
bro. Like all those dudes were. Galea was so
Legend,
sick.
bro.
So
dude,
good,
So
dude.
sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of where it all it started. But like, yeah, with Almost, it was like that was such a beautiful time in my career. Like Lutska too,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
because Lutska's not that much older than me, so I was really feeding off of him of like, oh, what's possible at like kind of my age, you know, especially in the streets, because I was like.
Gotcha.
I was kind of a contest kid,
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah.
that's kind of how I grew up. I was skating street, but like my dad always said like don't be one type of skateboarder, be able to skate everything. And so like I always looked at that, I was like, okay, cool, I want to skate everything. But then street started really hitting, and I was like, okay. So like for almost round 3, I really like, I wanted that to be pretty much my, like, I street skate too.
Yeah.
Here,
You weren't
exactly.
just this little
Exactly.
kid that only skated at the contest. Now you're a growing up teenager skating the street.
Well, now I'm a part of skateboarding, you know. I just wanted to
Yeah.
be like, hey, everyone else has parts, like I can do that. I think I can do that.
Yeah.
So here's my part.
And that was your first part, round 3? It seemed
No,
like you had other stuff.
no, I
Yeah,
did.
I'm gonna say, dude.
I was in
Yeah.
digital, like I did a
yeah.
part in digital every day.
Okay.
Couple little like Volcom things that they would do, but I'm not sure if I had like. I don't think I had a big part. Like digital every day might have been my first like real part.
Got you.
And like
Okay.
filming that with Weiss was dope. You know, like
Shout out Bill
sure,
Weiss,
shout
man.
out.
that was super
Yeah.
dope. It's crazy when I think back, man. Like skateboarding has been my life.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is like I've been in this my whole life.
Yeah, no, 7 years old, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
About
Like
to be
my-
33, yeah.
my
You put some
whole
time
life.
in, bro.
Damn, it's still going, still
Yeah.
doing it.
Oh
man.
yeah. No, and I'm more fired up now than ever because
you're
I'm like comfortable.
Yeah,
I know
that
who
helps.
I know who I am, and not as a skateboarder. Like, I know what I can bring to just like the world as a person.
Sure.
Which is just like love and like
Yeah.
you know like I care about people. I care about the world. Like I really care about skateboarding, but I didn't know who I was for a long time, man. Like my faith in Jesus Christ, like my wife, you know, like just starting my own brand and like trying to give back to like this next generation of skateboarders that are coming up to like, you know, maybe help them in some scenarios that like I went through that I could talk to them about, but not preaching in any way. Just like, oh, that's what you're struggling with. I went through that.
Well, it helps, man,
Yeah.
because like I love, you know what I love to see, and we talk about it on the show too, is like, you know, skaters at the top of their game, they leave their companies, right? They start their own companies, like which very much you did, Paul Rodriguez did, but I love to see that. I love to see the greatest starting their own companies to have then build a place for the up and comings,
Yeah.
you know, and mentor them along the way too, which P-Rod's doing it, you know.
P-Rod's definitely doing it. Tori's
Your
definitely
Tori
doing it.
is doing it, you know. But it's rad. I love that, you know. I think it's just the evolution, you know,
Definitely.
of the greatest moving on, giving back, you know.
It's been happening through the evolution of skateboarding,
Absolutely.
but now it's just a lot faster. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And there's a lot more room to able to do so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, big ups to everybody that is doing that, including yourself.
And it's scary, you know,
Yeah.
like it's super scary. You never know. Like, you know, we think it's like, all right, cool. We're doing it for skateboarding. I'm not doing it to like, I'm not doing this company to make money, you know, like there's no, like, that's not the end motive or like
The goal.
it's not the goal at all. Like my goal was to like possibly make a board and not reinvent the wheel, but like make a board that was maybe a little bit stronger. Maybe
Okay.
like maybe a little bit better, you know, and like through trial and error and finding and moving and not having a timeline and just like being able to like kind of bob and weave through this, like, and just kind of letting God take over. Dude, we found the people we needed. We found boards that are made in America that are a little bit stronger and like a little bit better. And I'm so stoked
I love it.
for this opportunity. And then at the end of the day, like we were talking before this interview started, was like my main goal was to like build a board that I wanted to skate when I was 7 years old, but that didn't exist. And so that's where most of our like pre-money for this and out-of-pocket money for this company came to and went to, was like a bunch of different molds that were not cheap each time to make, and be like, oh, finally to land on one that I was like, that's what I've been like picturing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
You
you were
know?
showing us before the show, it was like a 8.1 or something. Is that it right there?
Yeah, I think this is the
Is
one.
that it?
Yeah, 8.1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a 8.1, but it's a 12-inch wheelbase.
Yeah, it's a 12. What did we end up doing here? Yeah, we did 12.5 wheelbase.
Okay, 12.5.
8.1,
Yeah.
and then it's not. Yeah, it's 29, almost 30 inches long. But the thing is like I see all these kids skating, you know, and their feet are so wide on the board because there's not a wheelbase that's like conducive to a kid learning how to skate.
Right.
And if it is, then it's too skinny. And like, I just always thought like, man, if I just had like a wider board, there was a better wheelbase that my feet could be right under my shoulders, so I actually felt planted on the board, that it would have been awesome.
Yeah.
And so like I had the resources and I had the time to actually like try to figure that out for these guys and girls. And,
Yeah.
and we did.
I love
and
it.
so like, you know, who knows?
Well, 12 and a half wheelbase, I mean, it's not far off from a 14-inch wheelbase,
It's
right?
not,
So
which
when you're...
I went down to 14
You went down.
on my board because my board used to be, I think it was like 14.2 or something like that.
Oh,
So,
really? Wait, the board that, like for Plan B and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You skate 14
So I had like a little bit longer of a wheelbase, which was fine, but I rode an 825. And, dude, you know, I just figured at this point in my career, it's like, what's going to make me have so much fun and like look at my board and want to skate?
Right.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh, this 8.5 looks money. Let's do that. Oh, let's get bigger trucks.
Okay.
All right. Let's keep the same wheel size, but
Let's keep something the
a
same.
little bit bigger
Not too
setup.
different.
And man, I just love it.
Man.
Absolutely love it.
I love, sorry, real quick. I love the fact that you're doing the boards for kids. I like them. I like the fact also you were telling us before the show that you were calling them shorts.
Oh yeah, smalls.
Smalls.
Yeah.
Smalls.
Yeah, we're calling them the smalls.
Instead of minis.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I never even thought about mini being kind of a diss, you know?
It's kind of like doesn't
kinda
have
like-
the right ring to it. You know,
It-
you're like,
it-
oh,
now
you're
that
on
I
a
think
mini?
about it, it doesn't. It's
Yeah.
like, mini makes somebody feel small,
Right.
right?
Or
Instantly ridiculed.
Kinda.
or you're just
I don't
riding
know.
a smaller board, so you're just on a small.
It's on a small.
Yeah.
It's just a small.
Tall
So-
Grande Ponte.
Fuck with it.
But I love that. I love that you're doing that, and I mean, you created a whole new molds and everything.
Yeah.
And let's. I mean, the kids need it. You know.
yeah.
For sure. I mean, dude, that's literally what's happening right now. It's like, and it's not to say that we're forgetting about the dudes that are ripping too right now, but we have all the shapes for that, and those are pretty much tried and true. And you know,
There you go.
you can mess around with millimeters here and there, but it's all pretty much the shapes of the shapes.
Sure.
But for boards for kids, it doesn't really exist
Yeah.
the way that I wanted to see it, you know,
Yeah.
and people could not like them, but I've been seeing kids ride them and like instantly noticing a change in where their weight is, how comfortable they are, and where their confidence is with some tricks.
You're right, man. You look at these kids on a normal board, and their legs are like
Yeah, they're super
just
spread out.
Spread out.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing? You know,
And
not
all
the
I'm-
kid. What are you doing?
for
But that's
sure.
like the board.
And
Like,
I'm just
get 'em
looking
a
at
proper
like
board.
MCLs and like ACLs and knees, and I'm like, man, we gotta stop that and like get structure.
The hips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all in the
Get
hips.
structure.
No, I love it, and the fact that that board is an inch and a half shorter than a 14-inch.
Mm-hmm.
So stepping it up from that board to a regular size board is not a big stretch.
It's not a big deal because you're already going to be used to the weight of the trucks and the
Exactly.
wheels, and these boards aren't that heavy.
Right.
So
Yeah, they're light.
as you grow, you can grow with the board and really not feel like you missed a beat.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I love it.
That's
It's really
perfect.
cool that the kids have another option now. You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
you know.
I mean,
at
I
least
think
try out
they're
to
gonna
see if
like
it
'em.
works. Yeah.
I mean, and not even kids, dude. Like I look at that board and I'm like, I'm gonna set one up just for like, you know, just for fun.
Yeah.
See how it works.
When you first brought it out, I'm like, oh, this is my kind of board. It's almost 775, a little smaller, but you know, it's
It looks-
small.
it
It's like
looks
as
good.
long
It
as a
looks fun.
775 would be, right?
Eh,
To a little smaller.
Kelly,
Little smaller.
No.
A little small.
No, I mean I get it. No, dude, don't look at me like I'm crazy. I know what you're saying, but those boards back then, like a 7.5 back
Yeah.
then, they were not long, dude. They
I
were.
don't remember how
they
long
were,
the wheelbase was.
Yeah, they were
but-
longer wheelbase.
The
but
minis?
Yeah, no. They're like the girl boards back in the day.
Oh, right.
They were.
14-inch wheelbase. No,
Yeah, I know, but like now, like I was saying before, back in the day, or not back in the couple years ago, like if I got an 8-inch board, it was like 14 and up wheelbase every time.
Right.
You couldn't find an 8.1 that had a smaller wheelbase.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
for you, that board doesn't work.
No, I get it. But
But-
it's good that a kid can have a wider board and, like you said, grow with it over time.
For sure.
Exactly.
And not have
exactly.
to have a 775
Right.
and be like, you know what I mean?
the
Like,
stance all funky
Yeah.
and
You
everything.
can
Yeah,
just see how they tic tac everywhere. They can't get the heels to get into a good carve. And like when obviously like we all skate, and like the comfy spot to be is over the bolts, but that's because we're bigger, and the bolts is normally shoulder width apart.
Yeah.
But when you're a kid and you're out here and your shoulders are in here, it's like it's so hard to like maneuver the board.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give some structure.
Dude, I love it,
sure.
man. And with all that being
Again.
said, congratulations on
Thank
the new
you.
company, Sandlot Times. You guys, like, literally, you did officially just launched, like,
Last week.
Last week.
Just announced
Yeah,
it,
Okay.
yeah, last week. So we did kind of a soft like launch to see if there was a demand for the boards, for the maiden voyage.
Sure.
And I signed 200 of them, and we were just like, all right, let's see if they go.
Right.
And they went.
Perfect.
And we were like, okay. And then that kind of like jumped us to be like, okay, so this thing is ready. Like, let's put our big boy pants on it as a team, and like let's just do it.
Let's go for
Yeah.
So then we did. We signed 111, which is like one of my lucky numbers.
Okay.
I love numbers, but 111 just like I felt like we should sign 111 of the Warrior board, which is our Tiger, the gold one right there.
Yep.
And then same day that we dropped that, we did the announcement, and now we're up and
You're
running.
off to the races.
Yeah.
Now, are you thinking about a team, or is that going to be in the future, or are you just kind of
we don't know yet.
organically,
We don't really know yet.
naturally letting it happen?
We're just kind of like, we want to support. So we just want to like support like Groms that are coming up. We want to support anyone, really. We're just like, we don't know what we want to do
This will
yet.
be
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's we?
Me, Michael, my mom, and Angelique, who's been my mom's assistant, but then also works at Sheckler Foundation. I've known her my whole life. And then Mike Custodio, who does all the filming and photography for Sandlot Times before we knew what it was going to be. This
Yeah.
is just like us just hanging out filming, and then obviously my mom.
Nice.
Great.
It's a rad crew.
I love it.
Congratulations,
I
dude.
love
Fuck
it.
yeah.
So that's us, it's like it's not anything crazy, bro. It's just us grinding and putting in hard work, and we got linked with a bunch of really good people to build the boards, to get the screen prints from, to do it all. I mean, we've got those connections, and we kind of pulled on them, and
Love it.
now we got a brand.
Hey,
Amazing.
there you go.
And you said it's
Sandlot
all
Times.
local. You get the boards made local, right?
The boards are made in the United States.
United States,
So
okay.
yeah. So up in Maine.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
It's
Doing
cool.
it.
So rad.
It's cool, man. It's like I said before, it's like such a blessing to be in skateboarding.
Oh my God.
And to still be like feeling the way that I do on a board, and knowing that I still have way more to give.
Bro,
Definitely. Yeah.
I mean, what was the video? You just you dropped in on that freeway bridge or something,
Yeah,
and that
that-
truck came by.
Oh,
remember?
jeez,
Yeah, that
Red
was
Bull, dude.
that was
the
for Red
hell?
Bull. That
For
was
Red Bull, that's
that was
right.
You good?
You good?
Yeah,
That was you good.
What were you doing up there, bro?
Just like
That was
Yeah, what?
I don't know.
Who
That-
did Ira spot that or something, or did you?
no, that was our guy Kenji. He was like our photographer and our guide out there in Taipei, and I remember I asked him one morning, like, what's your dream spot? Like, where's like the craziest spot here? Because all the spots in Taiwan are incredible.
okay.
And he showed me a photo of it, and he's like, I've taken a lot of people here, no one wants it. And I'm like, just from the photo, I was like, that thing looks doable.
Okay.
Like, but in my mind, I thought it was only like 4 or 5 foot like drop, and I couldn't tell how big the quarter pipe was. We got there, dude, and I was like, oh shit.
How big is the drop?
The drop was like 9 feet into like a 15-foot quarter. So like I was way up there, and what we didn't know was like, well, I didn't know. Kenji knew that was like the military base above. So we had to like, we weren't like sneaking onto the military base, but like the tunnel ran underneath the base. So when I got up there to like scope it out, I kept hearing all these like weird little sirens, and I could hear someone like speaking over a megaphone, but I couldn't tell that it was like for us. So I just kept trying to like look at it, and like I ended up like crawling down and jumped down at once just to make sure the transition was good, and it was perfect.
Okay.
And like I was gonna go and turn around and just go do it, and then like all the cops showed up and the fire truck and ambulance, and like
Oh my God.
it was like super gnarly because I don't speak, I wasn't speaking the language, and,
Yeah.
and they surrounded me, and I just kind of like had my board, and I just kind of like wiggled my way out, and they were trying to grab me, and I just started running, and I ran up to Kenji because I'm like, at least he can talk to them, you know. But as I'm running up, there was this guy on a moped, and he's like, "I'm so sorry." And I was like, "Sorry for what, dude? Like, I don't know." He thought I was like trying to kill myself.
That's what I was assuming.
Yeah. So he saw us, and he saw us up there, and he was like, he called the cops, like, this American's gonna like kill himself.
Jump. Yeah.
But like, dude, it was weird because we had cameras everywhere, and I'm like, man, it's not really the scenario you would like, you know, off yourself, like,
well,
people filming.
Yeah.
But whatever, like, so we got kicked out. They told us like never come back, and
You're like, we're coming back the next day.
no, I went back. I ended up like, I was in a really bad mood after that because like I was
I
super
can imagine.
scared
Yeah.
of this spot, and I had like got myself to that point where like I was ready for the first try, and I kind of knew it had to be first try. So like I went through that process that we all know about, like when you're scared to try a trick and like to get that first one to pop off is like, that's the battle in
That
itself.
is,
Yeah.
Once you
yeah.
get the first one out, it's like, okay, I can figure it out. But
Totally.
that first one is like, it takes something out of you to get there, and I got there, and then they
shut
had
it
to shut
down.
it down, but I couldn't turn it off.
Right.
You know, so like for the next 6 hours, like I didn't eat, I didn't drink water. I was like at the next spot, like Foy was doing gnarly stuff, and I like couldn't be bothered. I'm like, you know, like I'm like, dude, like I got to figure this out, and like I kind of got into acceptance and was like, all right, man, you know, maybe it's not going to happen, and started calming down. And then Ira finally was like, hey, are you all right? I'm like, no, like we got to go back. And so we just did a strike mission, dude. We had Jay and Kenji and Ira and myself, and we just took a cab back there, and like I practiced a couple like bomb drops off this electrical box down the street, and sent those 2 dudes over, or 3 dudes over. And there was like a kid that met us there who was like supposed to be my spotter for like cars coming through the tunnel, which he didn't
Obviously
anything,
not. Right.
you know, like which it makes the clip for sure. And I don't know if I was even looking at him, you know, like who knows if he could have been telling me not to go, but I just didn't even think about it. And I just looked at Ira, gave him a hug, and I walked over and got behind it and like just kind of looked at it for a second and stood up and put it on and just
Did
went.
it.
Yeah.
Wow.
First try.
And then just ran up the street, and then like,
Did you even
then
see-
it hit.
Oh, did you even see the truck?
No, I didn't see the truck, dude, but I like when I watch it, you know, again in slow-mo, it's like I tail dropped, and I ended up drifting like towards that car, and like when I land, like my hand goes over the edge, and like the truck was right there. I couldn't see it at all.
Wow.
But if you like slow-mo it, it's like it would have been really bad if I fell, for sure. But yeah, I mean, dude, and then somehow that the You Good came out, and I guess the Taiwanese government saw it and like grabbed the clip and put it all over the news that they were like looking for me, and I had a warrant out for my arrest in Taiwan for like trespassing at the
Naval
at the
base,
military base
whatever.
or whatever. And so like I was super scared because I wanted to go back to Taiwan really bad, but they were like, Kenji called us. He's like, well, you can't come back. I was like,
You're all over the news.
and then it wasn't as gnarly as like the news made it sound. Like Red Bull ended up paying like
a fine or
like
something.
$90. It was like a parking
Oh
ticket.
wow, that's it.
But they made a big deal about it. Like American came and skated.
they didn't say if the video was good or not. I mean,
I didn't hear.
Let's promote this thing.
I don't know.
Wow.
But I
Crazy.
think I can go back. Like
Okay.
I can go back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's really my question. Yeah, can you go back now?
I'm sure I
I'm
can.
sure.
So, like-
They paid the ticket.
Yeah.
Like Ryan Sheckler photos everywhere, like wanted.
But they posted gnarly metal bars into the whole spot, so the spot's gone.
Done.
Yeah.
It's done.
You finished
One
it
and
off,
done.
dude. It's all
One
good.
and done.
Done.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wait, were you
That
the
was-
only one to ever try it?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It was psycho.
Yeah,
Dude.
that's
Like when
nuts.
I saw that in the video, I was like, "Whoa, dude!"
Yeah.
Like just the spot's gnarly, but then to have that truck drive by at
Yeah.
that moment too, then your mind starts going like, what could have actually happened if something did go wrong?
It's one of those like fantasy spots. You
Yeah.
know, like if I could have picked the spot, like how it looked, like with the blue, that like blue ribbon that's going through it, like it was a perfect transition
Sure.
too. Like I called a bunch of my BMX friends after I got home and was like, dude, you guys could ride up it
Oh yeah.
and like do a nose pick or something at the top, which would have been epic, but
Wow.
spot's done.
Damn.
No longer.
Well, good clip.
Yeah.
Made the clip. It's so funny how it's skateboarders, our intuition, that the stuff that feeds us and drives us. Like you had to go back to that spot to almost just have that release and that feeling. You
Yeah,
know?
dude. Yeah, exactly
crazy.
like you said.
crazy.
I would not have been able to like sleep. I couldn't eat already. Like I couldn't do any.
Isn't that funny?
It's so obsessive.
So-
it's
it's
like it's an obsessive monster.
You had, to
Yeah.
feel, you had to fill that void on that trip.
100%.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Hey, talking about Sandlot Times and all that. I mean, you were on Plan B for a while.
Yeah, 17 years.
17 years. Must have been hard to leave
Yeah, for sure.
and to start your own venture. When you left Plan B, was this already in your mind to start the Sandlot Times or
No,
no?
I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know really what I was going to do.
Why then leave Plan B? It's such a safe, structured. I mean, it seems like a 17 years.
Yeah,
So,
it was safe.
yeah. Time for a change.
It was time for a change, dude.
Wow.
It was time to be able to have the option to do something on my own. And there's nothing wrong with Plan B at all. I love Plan B. That's
Yeah.
like a brotherhood for me. And yeah, it was hard to leave for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But I felt that I needed to, I just felt like it was, I didn't really know what else I could contribute to the brand. And
It's interesting.
yeah, man, I take it how you will. I had to do something else.
It's so funny, man, how just our mind works and just how the intuition and your gut and all that stuff. It's funny how that works. Like you said, you didn't have anything planned.
No.
You just had this gut thing and you just were...
You got to take yourself
You had
out
to
of the
move on.
situation. Yeah, you got
Yeah.
a new routine or something just to
Interesting.
switch it up, and you're giving new room for like Christian Jordan to come in and
For
like
sure.
do all
There you
these
go.
new kids, the new generation
Of
do their
course,
thing.
man.
So-
And like, I had a freaking rad run on Plan B.
Yeah.
And it was dope, dude. And I was there for a long time and I helped with that brand a lot.
yes,
And I helped get a lot of people on that brand. Pretty much brought them Christian,
Yeah.
like brought them Jocelyn. Like, it's rad. It's rad. And they let me stay on for as long as I did. And I definitely felt a part of, and it was cool. But at some point, I just was like, man, I think there's, I don't know what it is, but it's not right here. And it wasn't anything anyone did.
Sure.
It was just maybe me just like getting to a different place in my life or my career or kind of what I wanted out of a brand. And I didn't know what I was going to do.
It's so funny, man. Like, I think at the time you left, I think Letitia left almost at the same time.
I think she left a little bit before.
Did she?
yeah.
before
Her,
you?
her
Okay.
and Chris Cole left a while before.
Yeah.
Oh, was it Chris
Like-
Cole that left with?
Yeah, they left a bit before.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure. Maybe it was Chris Cole and Letitia that I thought, oh, maybe they would start their own company. I thought that was you, but maybe not. You left after?
Yeah, I left after.
Oh, you did?
I
Okay.
left January 1st.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously? Start of the new year.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
New year,
New Year's
new-
resolution.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why Sandlot Times? Why is what does that mean to you?
Honestly, like Sandlot the movie
Mm-hmm.
was like my dream as a kid. Was like if I could just do that with my friends, like whatever that is, like skateboard, moto, go-karts, like shoot baseball, like if I could just do that life with my friends, like that's what I want to do. And we were skating at the park. The park never had a name, it was just the park. And we were in there every single night. And we were just grinding through tricks, and we would someone would bring wood and we'd like change an obstacle, and like we were just having so much fun. And I think we were all, like after a session we were all just sitting on the ground, like just how you do. We were just talking, and I was like, man, this is like the Sandlot. This is exactly like the Sandlot.
Hell yeah.
And then we were all like, oh, the Sandlot. Yeah. And then we just kind of started running with it.
Ooh.
And it just became like Sandlot. And then we're like, well, what does that mean? It's like, well, it's the Sandlot Times. You know, it's like, that's the times we're having. That's the times we're living in, like the Sandlot Times. And then it just kept sticking. And yeah, we trademarked it. And
Nice.
and we didn't know. We thought maybe it would be a media house or like,
Oh, okay.
we just start doing stuff for that or just like put Sandlot Times on a tag. Like, I don't know. We didn't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this started, 3-4 years ago. We were just organically doing it. And then like organically grew like a following on Instagram, which we did. We still didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
We'd put out shirts here and there and people were like kind of buying them, kind of not, because they didn't really know what it was. We didn't know what it was either. We were just like,
They're buying a skate park
we're
t-shirt.
just throwing darts
Yeah.
on the wall just to see like what was up. And then I just had to, I don't know, man, like beginning of the year, because I knew I was going to leave Plan B, and then I kind of just like, Mike, what if Sandlot Times is supposed to be a board company?
Right.
And then we just started toying with it, and then we brought it to Angelique and my mom, and like, hey, what if we just did something?
Yeah.
Like, why not? Let's put the kids first. Let's see if we can like make a board that kids would want to ride. That's like dope.
Sure.
And then obviously like I'll turn pro, however that works. Like I'll have a pro board for the company.
Wait, you turned yourself pro?
No,
Come on, you can't do that.
Mike turned me pro.
Okay. Oh,
Hey, you
that's
deserve
fine.
it.
That's
You
fine.
deserve it. Yeah.
Mike turned me pro. And then we're like, yeah, let's just see let's see what it does,
Yeah.
So it's fun, it's risky, it's exciting, it's scary. It's like, it's all money out of my own pocket to like create this thing, buy the boards, do the
Sure.
screen prints, like make sure the graphics are right.
It is
like,
not easy.
do some soft goods. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, damn, okay, this is what it is.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I almost wanted to do it too, just to like, can I do it?
Yeah.
Like, can I do this? Can I run a business? Can we run a business? Just as like, well, Mike's super smart, so we're
Very talented
looks like a
dude.
smart
we're in
guy.
good hands. We're in good hands with Mike for
Yeah.
sure. And my mom's very smart, and Angelique's smart. I'm a skater. It is what it is. But
You're pretty smart.
I've been
too.
around, man. I've been around. I've been around. I've seen how companies are run and like to do's and
Sure.
to don'ts.
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. So yeah, man, we're just having fun.
Love
We're just
it.
gonna see what this
That's
thing
so
turns
cool.
into.
Hell yeah,
That-
man.
all skates brands things have almost always started by clicks or crews and stuff that you're doing,
Yeah.
it just evolves,
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Sandlot is such a monumental movie. Like growing up, it like I relate because I played baseball as a kid, but I related that to skateboarding a lot.
Yeah.
Like Ricky the Jet Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Like skateboarding, or like for him is baseball. But I
Mm-hmm.
look at that like I was not even as good as that dude came to be, but like you lived it. It was life.
Yeah.
And that's what skateboarding is to us,
Yeah.
So and you have your crew and you have those little getting the ball out of the backyard and like
the whole
and then
thing.
you go in there and it's like the raddest dude ever and he's teaching you about this. I reference that show on here all the time.
Yeah, I know.
We have like Jeremy Ray on here telling you about the stories from back in the day.
Yeah.
And I just like I totally love what you did with that. You're doing with that. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's organic, it really is something that like meant a lot to me as a kid, and like to actually have found what I was looking for,
Yeah.
like basically like finding the baseball. This is like what we found a company that we could actually maybe do. And so, the difference with this is like, I don't have any expectations, I don't know what it's going to do. Like at the end of the day, it's like it can do what it wants,
Yeah.
I don't think there's any rules to skateboarding. There's no rules to running a skateboard company. There's no rules to like what you have to do
Right.
to run a brand.
Not these days.
No, you do whatever you want, dude.
Not at
Straight
all.
up.
Yeah.
So it's like,
no rules.
as long as I keep my core ideals of like what it means to be a skateboarder to me, which is everything,
Yeah.
and like how I respect skateboarding and respect skateboarders, and like want to leave a good impression on kids coming up and like actually give them a really solid opportunity to explore what skateboarding means to them, then we're gonna be fine.
There you go. It's a beautiful thing, man. I mean, like I can see a lot that you could do in the future. I mean, listen, you have like the Sheckler Foundation.
Yeah.
You have your hands in a lot of things.
Yeah.
So running a skateboard company is probably not going to be that difficult. You know what I mean?
It's fun.
It's
fun.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Have fun
Yeah.
with it till it becomes stressful.
Yep, and it will, and it will, and I know it will. You know,
Business is not
I know
hard.
it will.
Business is not easy.
No, it's
you know?
not.
But as long as you start off and you have fun with it, and
Yeah.
you just do what you want to do and do what feels right to you, you're gonna, dude.
But if we've
Yeah.
learned anything from skateboarding, it's like failure is going to happen. You know, there's gonna be drops that don't make it on time. There's gonna be problems with wood here or
Yep.
there. Like, people might not like the graphics. You know, if you don't like the graphics, then it's not for you. Don't buy my board. It's fine. You know, it's okay. There's hundreds and thousands
Absolutely.
of graphics and boards to buy, and like, I don't care if you buy my board. Just buy a board and start skating. Like, that's what it's all about.
There you go.
know, so like,
Yes.
I'm not scared of failure. That's the
Yeah.
thing. I failed so much in my life, and then figured out why it failed and tried to make it back through it. And sometimes I never made it back through, but at least I understood it was a fail, and it didn't discourage me,
Yeah.
and I never stopped, you know?
Right.
So this is the same thing.
Skateboarding kind of prepares you for that too.
For sure.
It
You know what I
does.
mean?
For sure.
It does.
We're constantly failing every day at this shit, and then eventually we get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you use it in that fashion.
It's
for
a
sure.
W when you get
It's
it.
a W. You already know.
Right. That's right.
And I got it on. And I got fucking filmed it. We filmed it that
Yeah,
day.
and I'm never going to do it
Right.
ever again.
Right.
Thank God.
Yeah. Got the clip.
Yeah.
Got the clip. It's amazing because you had mentioned like your mom is helping with the company.
Yep.
Your dad, always big supporters of you.
Yeah,
they
for
were
sure.
always at the Tampa contests and
sure.
here and there, and pretty remarkable because at a certain point you don't really see that in skateboarding too much. You know, it's like the kids outgrow the parents taking them to, you know, the support.
Yeah.
It outgrow, but they were always there with you.
Yeah, man, I've just never been embarrassed of my parents.
beautiful.
You know?
No, I love it.
I love my parents to death, and yeah, bro, like this, I needed their support, you know, and like without them, the way they would handle me getting injured, that was the gnarliest thing. Like, props to my mom and my dad for how they handled broken bones between me and my two younger brothers. Like, we would break bones, and they would stay super cool. Like, hey, it's all right. We'll fix it. Get in the car, straight to the doctor, set a bone, cast on. Can I skate? Sure.
Not a big fuss.
You know,
Not a big
it
fuss.
wasn't like,
Freak
oh
out.
my God, you know, like, which would have freaked me out.
Yeah.
They were so cool, and I don't know where that came from or why they were like that, but like they kept such cool heads through times of gnarly injuries that like it really made me know and my brothers know that like, oh, okay, like that didn't kill us. Like
It's just a
that
broken
actually
bone.
wasn't that bad.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I think a lot of parents today get super freaked out, and like the kid feels that energy, and like, and I'm not saying that like when I have a kid, like I'm probably gonna have to be like, you know, remember, because dude, watching my little bro get hurt, Kane, when we were growing up, oh man, like I would freak out.
Yeah.
I would freak out because it was like I loved him so much, and I love
Right.
Shane so much.
You don't want
and I'm like,
anything to happen to them.
you don't want
Yeah.
anything to happen, but like, and that's not to say my parents didn't love us. They just knew we were playing hard.
Oh, for sure.
Like we were playing hard.
Yeah.
And they were cool with the broken bones, which got me here today.
I love it,
Exactly.
man. Speaking of like you leaving Plan B, not knowing anything, when you left Almost, was that because of Plan B? Did they approach you to be on the squad? Because when
Yeah.
Plan B kind of reintroduced themselves,
Yeah.
it was kind of a big deal in skateboarding.
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
Yeah, it
this
was
was an
crazy.
iconic brand back in the day,
For
and
sure.
now it's back.
For sure.
You know, so I'm sure they wanted the icon, like the you know, iconic skaters to skate for them too. So I'm sure they approached you.
They approached me a few years. It might have been a couple years after it had already restarted.
Oh, seriously?
Because I remember it definitely wasn't at the start. Because I remember like Darrell, P-Rod, Jeremy, Winning,
Gallant.
yeah, PJ. Like they had this squad that was just like unbelievable. And I had been skating with Jeremy and Paul a lot. Like I would stay with Jeremy in LA, and we would go skate Paul's Park, and they were both Plan B. And then I knew Danny Way, and at some point, I don't remember exactly how it happened, but I got a call from Danny saying that they wanted me to come to Plan B.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, sick. Because all I wanted to do was really skate with P-Rod and Jeremy.
Yeah.
I looked up to those dudes so much and still really do. You know, I love those guys a lot. But I think I was like, I was 15. Yeah, I was 15. And I went on my first trip with Plan B. But it was to Orlando maybe, and it was like a surf expo or something like that. And Danny's like, "You're staying with me." Like, all right.
Oh, okay.
So that's like the first time I got like a full like introduction of Danny Way, and that trip was crazy, and it was fun, and it was wild, and I got like a full dose of like just Danny being Danny and like
a man.
You know, just like walking through, and everywhere he walked, he just like demanded attention, and it wasn't like he was trying to. He was just Danny Way, dude, and like
I know.
And then we started really like talking and getting to know each other, and then we realized how much we actually had in common, you know, or how much I had in common with Danny, because of, you know, his upbringing in skateboarding and how early he started, and the things that he went through, and the contests and being picked on and like all this stuff. And I was like, man, I love this guy.
Yeah.
Like, I love this guy. Like, awesome. I'm this is a great decision for me to be here.
Okay.
And then it was like, and then it was on. Then I was just like, you know, when you get that spark to be, you're like, it's like getting a new car, or like something like that. Like, I got on the brand,
right?
You know, I was on the B, and now I'm really gonna go. Like, I'm gonna skate. And then we had like Super Future promo.
Yeah,
I had a couple things that came out with Plan B, and then we did.
Isn't that the one that you kickflipped the Costco gap?
Yeah, I believe that was in.
Super Future.
I think that was in the Super Future.
What are you doing over there? That thing's massive.
Dude, that thing is
massive.
jacked. I grew up next to that thing. I didn't realize it was there.
Yeah.
Because
you
it's
didn't bother to look at that thing.
Because it's a wall with a fence on.
I don't remember who took me there or why I went there. Maybe Hoops. I think Hoops might have like.
Sounds like a Hoops thing.
Because I was jumping, you know, like I was jumping, and I wasn't like I wasn't opposed to like hucking at that point, and I had ollied that thing.
I was gonna say
for
you ollied
Oakley. It was like it was Oakley Our Life.
Okay,
that's
video.
right.
Yeah.
So I ollied it in that. I think I had on like a pink and a blue shoe. I always remember that. And like a Volcom shirt that was like yellow, like something crazy. Like the outfit was gnarly, but whatever, the trick happened.
Whatever you did,
it was an
you
ollie.
ollied it, yeah.
And so it was always in the back of my head that like something else could be done down that. And by something, like for me, it was kickflip. Like, but I wasn't like strong enough. I wasn't strong enough.
Okay.
After I ollied it. So I waited years. You know, I think I was 17, 18 maybe.
Okay.
So I waited like 2 or 3 years, and it was funny because it was like, I think it was on a Saturday morning, and I had partied the night before. I didn't go to bed at a reasonable time at all, and I woke up a little bit like a little saucy still.
Sure.
And was like, it was a good idea to go. The kickflip had to happen right then and there, like now.
It wasn't predetermined, but the night before, it was
No.
like you woke up and you're like, today's
the day.
I got
so
you.
I
Okay.
called Ricky. And
Ricky Beatenbaugh.
Ricky Beatenbaugh, and I called Atiba, and I said, "Can you guys be there in an hour? I'm gonna go for it." And Atiba was kind of like scared. He's like, "Are you sure, man? Like, it's kind of big." And I'm like, "Yeah, just come, you know, just come."
When Atiba's questioning something, he's seen a lot of gnarly stuff go down.
And it was cool because like somehow like I was skating a lot with Justin Figueroa at the time too, with Figgy, and so Figgy came with us, and then I had all my friends that probably woke up at the house that morning, and we just showed up. And my thing was I did have some like a rule for it. I was like, because it took me 4 tries to ollie it.
Okay.
Years before. And so this time I was telling my friends, I was like, if I ollie it first try, then I'm going to go for the kickflip.
Oh, wow.
And so I ollied it first try, and it felt really good. And I had put on that was the first time I ever rode an 825 board.
Wait.
First time?
Wait. You put together a board that you've never skated before to kickflip this Costco gap. That's a mountain.
It was a Danny wakeboard too, so I had the power, like. No, but I knew because the ollie, like I had cracked my board and it was a 775.
And
And,
you were skating 775 before that?
I was skating an 8
Okay.
previous.
Gotcha.
To this, like I kind of switched my board like every, I don't know. I kept going up, but
Gotcha.
825 was like a big board for me at the time. But this Danny Way graphic that was it was like camo with the black B and just said Way on it, and it looked good. It feels like the way my board looks now, you know,
Gotcha.
and so I knew putting that board on that it was possible. Like I just knew, and ollied it first try, and then I think it took me 4 tries to kickflip it.
4 tries to kickflip it. I mean, just the impact of that alone.
And the gap was far. Like it was
Yeah.
a decently far gap.
It wasn't just
and
like
then
a up and down. It was like you
Yeah.
had to gap out.
Yeah, and it's like a weird. You gotta like roll
corner
up.
pocket type thing.
You gotta roll up the curb, and then like over those like the blind kind
Yeah.
of ridges,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was like a weird sidewalk thing, and then it's like it drops off, and it's probably a 4-foot gap, and then maybe a 1.5 is the fence. So from the bottom, it just looks like it's dropped, but it's like it's longer than this table with a 1.5 fence. So you have to like get out there.
I was gonna say because that's got to be just a mind jumble in itself because you're going at this thing. You can't even see the landing until you're like up and over the fence, probably.
Well, you can see it on the first couple tries. It's like you kickflip. I think I flailed one of them because it surprised me. Like once I was like, all right, cool, there's the fence, and got to over the fence and was like, oh my God. Like, like,
rolling the windows
like,
up.
No,
like,
this
yeah,
is insane. And once I took the impact on the first fall, I knew I was all right. I was gonna be all right. Like as long as I could like try to roll out, or like ideally was to like land on the board so I could take some impact away from it. Which it started happening. There was only like 1 or 2 flails, and then I got scared on one and like flicked my board out, but I needed that one to like get fired up.
Gotcha.
But the one that like happened like dumb luck too. It just like shifted.
Yeah.
And then rolling away from that was like the best feeling
I'm sure.
I've really ever had on a skateboard, just because it was so pure and like my hands didn't touch, but they got that close to the ground, you know, but like my hands were flat. Like I knew it just took everything. Like I think my butt almost hit my board. It was every ounce of impact that I
think
could take.
when Ricky Beatenbaugh was on the show, I think he had brought that clip with him.
Yeah.
And I think we had commented on that. Like, like Reynolds kind of has the same thing, right? Where his butt almost touches, and it's like then he stands back up, and you're like, how did somebody do? My body doesn't work like that.
Strong
I can't
knees.
get back up like that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And I didn't always used to land like that. I think I would land a little bit back heavy until I started actually like weight training with squats and like with deadlifts, and actually learned that like with a squat or a dead, like especially with a squat, like you can't be over your heels, or you're gonna go and you have to be completely straight up and down.
Sure.
And you have to let your knees like do its deal. And
Interesting.
so I started realizing that like that's probably the best way to land is the same way that I would be structured like lifting a heavy weight. And for I don't know, the last 10 years, that's really what we do. Like anything that I do in the gym is always bolts based. So like even when I land today, it's the same thing. It's just an overhead squat.
Interesting.
Oh, wow, okay.
Interesting. So you said that was almost the best feeling you've ever had on a skateboard.
That one was pretty. I don't know of another one that felt like that.
Damn.
Relieving.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, because you've done a lot of shit, you know? It's not like that was like your only big thing you've done. I mean, you've done a lot of stuff.
No, yeah. I mean, that's just one that was like, didn't really know if it was possible.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and like, I just didn't know.
Well, the funny thing is, I mean, I want to say something after that, but no one else has stepped to it other than you, except for that kid that ran and jumped off of it.
Yeah, he
dude.
blew out both his ankles. And I'm like, yeah, but why would you jump off that?
I didn't think it was real until I somehow saw it on the internet. I was like, oh my God, I thought it was like a myth.
No, it's like he really...
He just ran and
Yeah.
He ran and jumped.
it's like he got off of school and just ran and jumped off of it and just broke
And broke both of his ankles.
Yeah, that's how big this thing is.
Wow.
And I was like, no one else has ever stepped to
It's
it.
massive.
And I don't know why. It's not like, yeah, it's big, but like there's dudes right now 100% like someone could go switch ollie it or like half cab it. Like something can be done.
I
for
can see a
sure.
switch ollie for
Switch
sure.
ollie,
or like
yeah.
a switch 180. I don't know, something switch 180 or
Switch 180 would be sick.
Yeah.
What's it equivalent to, like, as far as stairs? How many stairs is that, do you think?
It depends, because like to get over that the initial fence,
Right.
you know, you got to be going at least fast enough to like, I don't know, probably skate like a 6 stair, 7 stair, but like by the time you have that speed and then the 14-foot drop comes in, like you're landing probably a 14, 15 stair.
Right.
I don't know, man. It's
Yeah.
hard. That's a good
guesstimation
question.
on that, yeah.
Well, it's funny because, like you said, like when you're doing something that big, speed is definitely a factor, right? Because the faster you're going, I think the chief, Jamie Thomas, had said something when he tried the leap of faith. I think it was just like he wasn't going fast enough.
Yeah, you
like if
gotta
he's
go
going
fast
faster,
on drops.
he right.
You got to.
Got to go fast.
Look at Jocelyn, dude.
Yo,
Oh.
dude, shout out Chris Jocelyn. Oh my God.
Jocelyn.
Did you get him on Plan B? Is that what you said earlier? Or
yeah,
you
and
helped
like
get him on?
and helped like, I mean, he was gonna get on no matter what. any company that Chris is on, he was gonna do it by himself. I just happened to be skating with him, and people were like, "Hey, let's get Jocelyn on." So
Right.
I don't think I had anything to do with it. His skating 100% speaks for itself. Everything about Jocelyn speaks for itself.
You gave him a stamp though.
He is my friend,
Right.
and I support him forever, and super proud of him and the skater, but also like the dad that he is, and just like everything about that kid, man, is incredible, and I'm a fan forever.
Definitely.
I'm a fan forever too. And
as
a
well.
great human being
Yeah,
as well.
he's
It's
the
like
man.
the first time I met him, it was just the best, and we've had a great like relationship ever since. But the first time I ever seen him skate in person, you know, from the videos, he's this jumper. He jumps, he's backside 360 flip, you know, whatever. And then I saw him I was hosting the Battle of the Barracks.
Yeah.
Saw him there, flat ground. I was like, wow,
Oh,
this
everything.
dude has
Yeah.
everything.
Definitely.
First try, consistent, like,
Ledges,
looks
rails,
good.
like
Everything.
It's insane.
you just like saw when he was coming out, like the jump or the drops and things like that.
Bro.
But yeah, he's an all-terrain vehicle.
He is,
definitely
seriously.
is.
100%.
Was that his first video? Was that Be True? The first, no, or the one before that? Was that?
That was like his breakout part, I want to
Because
say. They kept him a secret
I was gonna,
for that video.
Eric Bragg wanted
Yeah.
nothing to come out of him
Right.
before the video.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it was that was like that was the goal, was like the introducing
It's like new Patrick or Pat Duffy style type
Yes.
of. Yeah.
Chris
Right.
Jocelyn.
Yeah.
And then that part just banged
Yeah.
on everyone and everything. And I was like trying to film my part, and then I like
Would see.
was out with him skating, watching what he was filming, and I'm like, like, man, I definitely don't have last part or first part anymore. And it's all right, you know. It is what it is. At least I was in the video.
That part of yours was really, really,
It was
really
so
It was
good,
fun.
Fuck yeah.
It was fun.
dude.
good. Do you think what was your favorite part that you think you put together so far?
Favorite part that I put together, I don't know, man. The family aspect of like Be True and like the trips we were going on and like what went into that video was like definitely my favorite video part. A video part that stands out the most, that kind of like let me know that like I could actually do street skating and like could be a part of like the crew that way, was like Almost Round 3.
Yeah.
And then, to be honest, for me, it was like I had little parts here and there, but never really like full-on parts like a lot of these dudes, which I always was kind of bummed at. But like I had such a hectic competition schedule, and like competing was really important to me, and so was street. But like I don't know, I got kind of
Caught up.
I got kind of like overwhelmed with trying to film, and also try to do these contests, and then also trying to like do all these obligations for the sponsors. And like, to be honest, I had too much on my plate,
Right.
for sure. So like some things went to the wayside, which I'm not saying street skating went to the wayside. It just was hard for me to like know that I had a street league coming up and I wanted to go do this trick, but like if I miss this trick, then I can't skate street league.
Right.
And like, dude, when I was growing up, like I was always under this like false pretense that like if I didn't win or if I didn't get top 3, my sponsors were gonna drop me. You know, and like
Was that only in your own mind,
that
pretty
was
much?
that was really in my own mind.
Right.
But no one, and I would voice that, and no one would say, no, you're crazy. Like that's not true. It was like, oh yeah, well, I mean, you better do good then, you know. And it was like people that were close to me. So from 8 years old until pretty much 18, I was like, man, I have to do good at contests, or else I'm gonna lose all of this.
Right.
So, which is not the case, you know. And
But it's also maybe something that actually fed your desire to win as well, thinking that.
yeah,
Because we all skate. I mean, Kelly said it before, like if we're skating and we're trying to trick, we always come up with little stupid scenarios in our
For sure.
head, right? Like, oh, I'm going to get kicked off. Oh, I'm going to lose
For
this,
sure.
or my car's going to break down. Whatever, you know, like.
the most drastic thing.
Yeah.
it's always
But
like
that was it for you with
world
the
ending.
contest.
Yeah, that was it for me, and I didn't want to lose these sponsors, and that was honestly, and I look back at it now and I know exactly why. It's because it was my ego. Like I wanted to be in the eye. I wanted to be that skater that people thought I was, and like be that guy that people thought I was. Like it was all ego.
Right.
I didn't know any other way. That was what I knew, was like being that guy that people thought was good at contests and like kind of getting the praise for that. So it was a little bit backwards.
Which I think
Right.
a little ego's good. I think you need a little ego.
Yeah, it was
you
a
know?
lot.
But
It
I
was a
think it's overkill.
Hey, at least
ego.
you can admit that shit.
Yeah.
A lot of people have a tough time admitting that shit.
For
You know what I'm
sure.
saying?
For
And
sure.
that- and that could be detrimental to them in general.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
It
agree.
really hurt them in the long run, you know?
Yeah, for sure. But
Yeah.
a little ego's good.
I agree.
You know, you need to
have to be
f-
confident,
100%.
you know, but overconfident to the point where you know,
Yeah.
you look crazy out here,
Yeah, for sure.
you know?
Yeah.
And you know, at 17, 18, I felt entitled, you know, and I felt like I felt like a punk kid.
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I was a punk kid, you know, and like, and that's what it was. You know, I'm
Right.
not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it was a bad thing. It was where I was at that time, and like, I can tell you though, now looking back at that kid, I'm like, I would have smacked myself, you know, for sure.
Yeah.
And be like, man, chill out.
Right.
You know, like chill out. It's all good. Like you're
You
all
got
right.
nothing to prove.
Yeah,
You're
you're
just
all right.
chilling. Yeah.
You're all right, man. Like you're all right. But I didn't have anyone telling me that I was all right, and, which is fine. It's nobody's fault. This is who I
right.
was.
Well,
But,
dude, if
what,
you're
but would
winning,
you have listened at that time? You know what I mean?
Oh.
Probably not.
And depending on who it was coming from,
That's
too.
true.
Depending
too.
on who it was coming from, yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, that's where I was at that time, and you know, that's why I got the flack that I got, and that's okay. You know, that's okay. It made me who I am, and
Definitely.
I mean, growing up,
Yeah, but-
you won the contest growing up, so it's like once you're winning, it's hard to be like, oh, I don't care about winning anymore. It's like that's what you like to do. You
Yeah.
like to. You're competitive.
yeah.
You're not there to like, oh, it's all right if I get, like Gary Vee says, get 12th.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, if you get 12th.
Throw that trophy away.
But
Yeah.
but it's so hard for skateboarders to balance the street aspect and the contest.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes,
definitely.
And now people are doing it a little bit now.
Yeah.
You got like Yuto,
Yeah, Utah's amazing.
yeah, can do the Olympics and crazy video parts, but
Yeah, and skate park, like whatever. That dude can skate anything very
Yeah.
well.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Very
wild.
well.
It's crazy, these kids these days. Whew.
I felt like
Wow.
a big day, like from my eyes looking at your skating, a big day for you was the Buster Bale that you had at
Yeah.
RSF. Like when you did those tricks there, and like this Jake Phelps being like, "Holy shit, this kid is
Right.
like," and like everyone being like tripping out how gnarly that was. That looked what did that day mean to you?
Those were the stairs, the
Yeah.
Buster Bale.
Yeah, that was at 17.
17.
Yeah.
That's right.
17.
That day was gnarly. That day was super gnarly. We were on a Plan B trip out there. I didn't know that that's what we were going out there to do.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
It was just a stop. on
Yeah,
the-
it was just like Colin and Danny and Hoops was there and P-Rod and a couple others. And I think we were there to street skate. And then that contest was going on that day. And we showed up, and I was like I was super nervous to like go to it just because it was like a street spot with a crowd. It's like something I had never like experienced before. But they fixed the takeoff. The takeoff was perfect, and the rail was actually like perfect, and the stairs didn't look that big, and they added an extra stair, so it was like an 18, but it's like a small 18.
Okay.
You know, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And the ground was perfect. Like it was great. It was just a great setup. And I remember trying to ollie it and like kind of skid out and was like, I'm just not gonna play with this thing. Like I'm just gonna go kickflip.
Okay.
And then I kickflipped it second try, and then came back up, and then I board slid the rail, and then I was like, okay, this thing I feel good on this thing. And then I tried backside flip, just right out of the gate. Tried 2 of those, landed the third one, and I was like, oh man, I might be able to tray flip this thing. And someone was trying tray flip, so I like went up to him and I asked like, can I try tray flip with you? And he was like, sure.
Trying my trick, man.
I was like, all right. I'm like, I won't. And he's like, no, go for it. Let's try it.
Okay.
And then that happened like pretty quick. That was like fifth try, fourth try.
Wow.
And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna skate the rail. And then I backflipped the rail. And then I backflipped it to fakie. And then I think Phelps, I had just done a hard flip or something in the streets, and Phelps was like, do a hard flip. So I started trying it, and then he did that one where he's like $1,000 right now, and I got fired up, and then I hard flipped it. And then I was like done, you know, but like I didn't think I won that, you know. I just knew that I had like a good showing. I was like, all right, cool. It, like I held my own in this thing because like Reynolds' frontside flipped over the rail, and he varial heeled it, and dudes were like moves back 3'd over the rail, and like there was dudes doing gnarly. Figgy was skating the rail, killing the rail, and yeah, I just figured like cool. I was a part of this thing, and it was dope. And yeah, at the end, like dude, they were like Reynolds runner up, and I was like. Like what, dude? Like what? And it was a trip, dude. And like I have a piece of that rail. Like the trophy was like a piece of that rail because they took the spot out after, you know. So, and that piece of that rail sits in the office, and it's just crazy. It's a crazy memory, and you know, I look back at that, and I'm like, man, that's like the start of where I started thinking. To be honest, and I feel like we're going there anyways, like that backside flipping down that 17 was what triggered my mind to be like, oh, I think I can backside flip El Toro.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's 3 more stairs. Like,
well, it's crazy because you backside flipped it first, and I was like, I was like tray flip. I would go to tray flip first, but backside flip for you is like your go-to kind of. Or
I don't know, man. I guess so. I just like that trick. Like ever since Bastion taught me how to do it, I was like, boom, this is my trick. You know?
Bastion taught you how to backside flip.
Yeah, dude, on like an Etnies trip when I was like super young.
wow,
Not a bad guy to learn it from.
Yeah, you got a solid ass backside.
Wow.
Yeah, and so like he taught me, and then it just stuck with me, and yeah, to be honest, I was like, man, okay, like mentally, I was like, dude, and I'm like 17. I'm like, all right, I think I can do that. Like I think I can do it down El Toro. And then like we get back from that trip, and it's all good. I'm out filming, and I end up breaking my foot. So I break my foot, but I had checked El Toro before I broke my foot.
Okay.
And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I wasn't there to skate it that day, but I'm like, oh, I can do this. Right. You know? So the last thing that was going through my mind before I broke my foot was I'm going to do El Toro.
Backside flip.
And I'm hurt. I got a cast on my foot, and I'm at Etnies Skate Park, and Phelps comes up to me, and I'm like flustered that Phelps wants to talk to me, and he just like
You're 17 at the time?
Yeah, and he just like put me on the spot.
Right.
He's like, "Did you backside flip El Toro?"
Yeah.
And dude, to be honest with you, like my head was screaming no. I didn't. But like cuz Phelps was there, like I don't know, like I knew I was lying.
Right.
You know? Like I knew I was lying. And I was like, "Yeah, I did it." He's like, "You really did it." I'm like, again, my head's like, "No." But then I was like, "Yeah," you know? And then that became the thing. I was like, "All right, cool. Well, I'm definitely going to do it." It wasn't like I was like just saying it because I really was gonna go do it.
Yeah, totally.
I really thought I could do it.
And
It seemed like that was what
your ability.
you're like, that's going to make me go do it
Right.
by saying.
Yeah, and I
that.
was already planning on doing it. You know, it just like so happened that like this is probably the biggest lesson I've learned in my life in skateboarding was that interview.
Okay.
Was the power of what one lie can do. You know, I'm not the only person that's told a lie, but I did lie, and my lie was on camera.
Right.
To a world that we live in that is holds you to your word.
Sure.
Yeah.
So to me, yeah, at that time, I was definitely a fraud. And
Right.
and I felt bad about it, and I think about it all the time. And as an adult now, you know, like I look back and like, but that lie has saved me from a million lies that I might have told along the
Hey.
way to get here.
There you go.
But I did do a disservice to skateboarding by saying I did something that I didn't, you know, and I live with it.
Right.
You know, I live with it, and I talk to kids about it, and they ask me because they think it's funny, and it's my fault.
Yeah.
You know, it's my fault, and I own up to it, and I've apologized, and it is what it is. I did not do it. I wish I did. I
tried it, though.
I tried real hard to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that like? What was it like saying that and then going later after healing from an injury and going
By
back
the
and
way,
trying
can I
it?
just interject really quickly? When a figure like that comes up to you, like a Jake Phelps, you're 17, you know, like I can imagine sometimes, like, do you ever get that feeling when somebody hits you out of left field with a question and your kind of body kind of like
Yeah.
shakes and you feel something? Like I can imagine that feeling hitting you
That's
when
what
he's asking a
happened, bro.
question.
Yeah.
That's what happened, and I wanted to give him the answer he was looking for, you know.
Right.
And unfortunately, I just like I blurted out.
Why did he?
a lot.
Why did he
Why
think
did he
he-
ask that
Yeah.
question?
You know, I don't know. I think it was after Buster Bale that like someone brag or something must have said like, "Hey, we're going to El Toro," or something. Something got brought up of like backside flip down El Toro.
At Buster Bale.
Yeah, and I didn't say it. It just like became a thing that was like, I
Right.
think you could do it, and then I believed I could.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, in reality, I was just like, I was hoping that I was like predicting like my future. Of like, no, and then,
For sure.
but it didn't work out, dude. I ended up like blowing out my tailbone and like put the axle up, and it was all bad. Like it was all bad.
Right.
You know, and I gave it 7 good attempts and stuck one that just like, but like that was an impact that like I never felt anything like that before. I've never pushed that fast at a spot. I've never gone backside down something like that.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're all you can see is the top of the roof, and you're pushing faster than you think is necessary, but it's still slow, you know?
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, I got to get another push in here somehow. And then just like fling. And it's like, it felt like flying.
Yeah.
I actually got a pit in my stomach every single time. I couldn't get used to the feeling. So that's like when the one flipped around and hit my foot, I was like, oh, this is it. Like, this is it. I'm rolling away. And then I still landed on the bottom stair.
Yeah.
And it made me do the splits. And then like, I got...
Yeah, that looked
So you got a pit in your
horrible.
stomach, like when you're coming down a roller coaster. And you get
Yeah,
that thing?
it was like crazy, you know.
Wow.
But yeah, you know, I am sorry for lying about that because it would have been so sick. Like
it would have been so
No,
dope.
it would have felt great, you know. But it didn't happen, you know. And like,
Well, it was awesome
don't
to
make
see your
mistakes.
tries, dude. Like I was like, you tried it.
yeah.
You came real close.
I don't think anybody's ridden Ray Fakey from that thing, right?
No, my friend Backside 180 did.
Oh,
Yeah.
he backside when he
Ryan
did it?
Danatels.
Yep.
Shout out to
Oh,
homie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Ryan.
Yeah, he did.
And
he did it well.
TJ. No, did Nick Merlino switch ollie it? Nick,
I'm not sure.
someone switch ollied it.
Wow.
So
I'm
that
not
was
sure.
riding away fakey.
Yeah,
But that's
Didn't TJ Rogers switch all in?
switch 180 it.
Switch 180.
Yeah.
that's dope too.
Yeah. But that spot is way like you're saying. It's a different beast, dude. It's like
You know,
Yeah.
dude, at the end of the day, it is what it is, and like I've like tried to make my peace with it, and like it'll never leave me. That's one of those things, though, man. Like,
Isn't that funny? Just a little thing you said at 17, like just people
sure.
won't let it go.
no, and I was a kid, you know, but that doesn't excuse the fact that it was like still how powerful one lie can
Right,
be. You know, like one lie.
Yeah.
And
I mean, just look at your career.
I know.
It's
all right.
Let's,
Yeah,
let's
it's doing
compare
all right.
apples. Let's
Yeah.
compare apples
Yeah.
and apples. You
No,
know?
but I don't think people are really like What's wrong with you? It's like, yo, it's kind of a joke. It's funny now, and it's and there's nothing wrong with it, dude. All the stuff you've accomplished is
for sure.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
For sure.
It's
Right.
I guess
I forgive you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Straight up.
we
Thank you. Nah, and it's all good, man. It's all good. I feel like I did a disservice, and so it's like it may be a joke, but I still feel bad about it,
Yeah,
man, because that's not who I am,
Right.
now.
Yeah.
But then, man, I would have said anything to get like I said, the ego was completely in control and no excuse. I just said what I said and it was false. So
Right.
Hey, even Nigel tried it and he couldn't do it.
That's true.
that says a lot too.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
It's all right. It's all right.
But again, be true. Phenomenal part.
Thank
It was
you.
amazing
Phenomenal
part,
video.
dude.
I mean,
Yeah.
shout out Bragg and
Yeah,
everybody
they-
involved.
Dude, and Mark.
Woo.
They killed that movie.
God damn.
They killed it.
So good.
And what year was that? That was 2000.
I don't know, man.
14?
It all blurs
No,
together.
2014
Was
came
it
out.
2014?
Yeah, I remember
Okay.
the premiere.
You a good date? Remember? Do you remember dates? Good? Because
Nope.
Yeah. Okay. No.
Same.
You said your numbers guy though. 5 times 5.
25.
Just testing you. Said you were good at math.
Uh,
Sheckler Foundation,
yeah.
bro, doing good stuff over there.
Yeah, man.
Love
14 years running now.
Wow.
And yeah, dude, it's one of those things where it was my opportunity to give back to skateboarding, give back to schools, give back to kids, children's hospitals, adaptive
Love it.
action sports,
Man.
kind of just do something that meant something, that I felt really good about and really driven to do. And we did a Skate for a Cause tour before COVID, and that was super rad. 10 stops, $10,000 grant per stop for
Amazing.
after school programs. Went to a wood shop that taught these kids who were at risk youth how to actually use woodworking machine, make tables, make chairs, actually learn a craft so that they could get
Beautiful.
a job that was sustaining to their lives. Small, I say small things, but it's it means a lot to these.
You don't know
these
what
communities.
impacts an individual.
Yeah, you never know.
Something that small, like you said, can impact somebody's life.
For sure, and we're stoked, man. I mean,
Love it.
We've donated over $2 million at this
Wow.
point, and it's over a 14-year period. But we're a small foundation,
That is
and
nothing, bro. That's
and we raise
huge.
we raise pretty good sums, and we have fun events that actually turn around, and the money gets used for incredible purposes.
Love it, dude.
So-
Love it.
Super cool, man.
There's no other feeling. Listen, we all ride skateboards. We know the feeling
Yeah.
of landing a trick down the mountain like Costco, but helping people.
Yeah,
There's no other. You can't compare that feeling with anything.
No.
You help somebody, that feeling you can't. I can't even describe it.
yeah.
Dude,
It's just
crazy.
the selflessness of being a human being, and it's I think that's really what it's all about. It's
Yeah.
it's the things too that you do in silence that nobody really sees, and
Yes.
that's the best, So yeah, the Sheckler Foundation is kind of out there for people to see, but that's not all we're doing.
No, I mean, I love it. I mean, we try to help out charities also that we come across. I mean, we did a thing for Dan Mancina's.
Yep.
So he wants to build an adaptive skate park for
Love
the
that.
blind and visually impaired.
Love
and
that.
So rad.
He wants to have a whole curriculum. It's literally across the street from his house, where he's he'll have the
Perfect.
students stay at his house. He'll teach them how to navigate, being blind and spices and cooking and then skating, and
So rad, dude.
it's incredible.
Yeah, Dan the man.
We've left that link in our description, for however ever since he's been on the show.
oh,
It's
dope.
let's go.
Leave it in mind too. Man.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
So, but it's so good, man. Causes like that, that these skateboarders are doing. It's just,
Tony
it
Hawk.
warms my heart.
Tony Hawk does all this
Who's
stuff.
Tony Hawk?
Dude, skate.
Oh,
go
the
back
Skate
some
Park
fo-
Foundation.
Yeah, skate.
Yeah.
That guy.
They do a lot.
Yeah.
Dude.
But congratulations on that. I
Thanks, dude.
love that you're out there doing philanthropy and stuff like that. It's amazing.
That's fun, man. It's just another way to stay in skateboarding, but also introduce skateboarding to people and groups that might never get the chance to do it.
That's what we need, man. We
And
need
like you said, pushing it
skateboarders.
forward, man. Just being able to do so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not everybody really can capitalize on that and really make an impact. And
I mean, I think it's just also like it's just working with your hands. Like it's a blessing to work, to be able to work, and there's so much more that I believe I'm here to do. And maybe it's not with this skateboard company. Who knows what it could be with? But I'm definitely supposed to do something more.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of rolling with it and seeing where it leads me, and meeting people and doing awesome things like this. Like finally getting on this podcast, which I've wanted to, and like like I said though, it's like I don't know what I was going to talk about. And like now sitting here with you guys, I'm just like, yeah, this is exactly where I need to be.
Exactly. Right.
There's definitely stuff I wanted to talk about, and especially like I wanted to talk about El Toro. It's like I don't really think that I've talked about it in a setting that's like kind of can hear my can hear the whole thing.
Yeah, have some understanding.
Right.
People get bits and pieces of it, and they don't really understand. And it's just it's cool, man. It's like you guys talking about the foundation, about the company.
Man.
It's like we got Etnies shoes behind. Like we got everything all.
Yeah.
It's just life's good, man.
And speaking of Etnies shoes, let's talk about this. 25 years. Oh my God, that's a long time. You know what? In skateboarding, like I love the loyalty. It's like loyalty. It's easy, but it's hard at the same time.
It is,
because other offers come around. There's opportunities knocking. There maybe not, but it's 15 at 25. It's a long time.
Fuck yeah.
It is a long time,
Loyalty.
dude. And
I love it.
And it's a family, and I've been at Etnies since I was 7 or 8 years old, and it's like I've seen like I've been on so many different teams with Etnies, like I've seen everyone come through Cairo,
crazy.
Dude, it's been
Mike Vallely,
Mike V,
Mike
like
Malto.
Artosari, like
Oh yeah, Malto, Mikey.
Dude,
yeah.
That was fun. Like Tyler Bledsoe,
Melissa Steamer.
Oh, there
He's
you
had
go.
some eras. Like,
there's like
all of them, bro. Like
Sheckler's like, who we got this year, man?
I'm holding down. I'm here. I ain't going
It's
nowhere.
crazy, like bashing, dude. Even Ali Bilala, like, dude, all these guys, man.
Love it.
So it's been really cool to watch that and like to be able to go on trips with these dudes and like, I've had every opportunity and like kind of taste of skateboarding on the road, and it's dope, dude. It's super dope. And I mean, you kind of led into it. It's like 10 years this year is how long the Marana has been running. Like we created that shoe just to be able to like jump down stuff, be super durable, and like last longer than other shoes.
Isn't that crazy?
And then it lasted 10 years, and so that's super dope. We're working on a new shoe that's coming out, my 8th pro model, which is called the Estrella. So I've been like,
Australia, right? This is the Australia.
Oh.
Right?
yeah, which means star, but
it's a beer company in Barcelona too.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm sure we've all had a couple of those.
But for me, it's like I've been naming my shoes after streets that I grew up on.
San
And then-
Clemente.
Yeah, and then not calling them Sheckler in case people don't like me, but they like the shoe. So they'll still buy the shoe.
Yeah.
You talk crap on me, but you're wearing my shoes, so it's fine.
It's pretty smart.
That's a good
It's
way
pretty
to think about
smart.
it.
So,
That's amazing, dude.
but yeah, we're stoked on that.
So this is the Australia, and this one's coming out in a couple months, July or something like that.
that one's coming out soon.
I like these, bro. These
This
are
is
looking
like-
good.
This one's loud.
That
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
This is loud.
That's 10 years strong, baby.
That's 10 years strong.
Yeah, that's got to be a 10-year anniversary shoe right there.
Wow.
This is kind of where it all started.
Dude.
This was like one of the first Maranas.
That colorway too, right?
This colorway, yeah.
Dude.
And this was made for Street League and for competing. Like I wanted a red shoe.
Wait a minute. So you were in Street League and you wanted a specific shoe to skate in Street League?
I wanted a specific shoe to skate big drops. And at that time, Street League was coming around and Rob was like, we're going to have big courses.
Oh, okay.
So the colorways, it came specifically for Street League, but the shoe was already being made.
Shoe was already being made.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
It just so happened that it like coincided that like I was associated with red shoes because I only competed in red shoes.
Interesting.
Because I love looking down at a red toe cap on my grip tape.
Isn't that funny? We need to. I mean, you got to look down and see. I mean, it comes down to underwear. I mean, if you're wearing the wrong boxers or briefs, your day is toast.
For sure.
Yeah.
100%.
You got to look down and see your board and love what you see.
I need my socks to be the exact like cushion that I need in my shoe. Like,
is that funny?
It's all very
I do the
specific.
same
I'm
shit.
sure you guys are very similar.
Oh yeah. But then I try to switch it up, and sometimes I'm stoked, and other times I'm devastated.
Oh man.
I just did a big switch up on my whole board, and I'm super happy. Could have gone. It could have gone either way.
Wait, did we talk about the switch up already? What'd you do?
Oh, I just went from 8.25 to a 8.5.
8.5.
Wow.
Which I love. I absolutely love it, and
That's amazing.
stepped up my trucks a little bit.
Pull it up real quick. It's right there, huh?
I love this, bro.
This is the boat.
Damn.
This is the boat.
Boats
It's
have
looking
arrived.
It's looking good, bro.
It feels good.
Do you always do the 2 color bolts up there, or is that just a?
No, that's just what came in the
Okay.
pack I bought.
So you don't have any weird thing you need to do with the board? No lines in the grip tape or anything?
No, this is actually just random.
Okay.
It's all random.
So you don't have too much madness, huh? Except for
It's-
your
nah.
sock thickness.
Yeah, sock thickness, shoe colorway.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get this straight, because we got a lot of shoes up here. These are all the Estrellas, right? No, wait.
Those are the Estrellas.
Yeah.
These are the Muranos.
Nope. Those are the Estrellas.
Those are all the
These are all
Estrellas, yeah.
Estrellas.
Estrellas. Okay.
These are the Maranas.
Those are the Muranos. So wait, you
all
guys.
black.
You guys are releasing the original colorway too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For the 10 years strong.
Isn't that funny? That looks retro.
Well, yeah, for sure. It's fucking 10 years ago.
I know.
But that's so this is the one that has the 10 on it. So this is the 10-year release. This will come out with this one, but
Michelin.
This is like the cleanest.
Yeah, don't they have some Michelin shoes
Yeah,
or
it
the
says
sole?
they're
Yeah,
Like
our
that.
soles are Michelin.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I guess the footbeds are gonna come with I guess we don't have the all red ones, but they come with a trick that was synonymous of the actual shoe.
God. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think the black
that.
the black pair was
These are white.
was
These
a
are
kickflip in Sydney for Monster Children.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, shout out Monster Children.
Yeah.
They do rad
So
stuff.
rad. They're
I love
so
that. I
sick.
love Monster
So
Children.
dope.
Oh, these are light.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how it started, dude.
Oh
That's
my
why.
God.
That's why it was such a trip and I think it's why the shoe stayed around so long was just because it really got made durable and light and
Yeah.
once you got used to this shoe, I have for 10 years, I've been riding this shoe, skating in this shoe. So all the tricks I've learned, most of the tricks I've landed have been in this shoe.
Do you ever try to switch shoes?
Yeah, I've been goofing around lately. Yeah,
And
yeah.
do you find that an issue when you try to switch shoes? Is it a?
It just depends.
Yeah.
It depends on what I'm trying to skate. You know, I don't really, and I have for this part that's coming out with Red Bull. I've been jumping.
We got to talk about this part. Go ahead.
But when I'm just goofing around at my park and skating the spine and just trying to learn tricks on the bump to bar and stuff,
throw onto another shoe.
I'll skate a little bit lower profile, kind of lighter shoe.
Okay.
I was goofing around in slip-ons for a second, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
You wear a slip. Yeah, that's
It got a little rough.
Those are but sometimes switching shoes is tough, because you see a shoe you like, you want to rock it, and then it's like getting used to a whole new setup.
Yeah.
Almost. It's
Yeah.
you're gonna have
It's
a bad
hard.
day maybe for a day, and then you might not. It's a roll of the
depends.
dice.
Yeah,
you
It
know?
all depends.
Yeah, these are beautiful, bro. Thank
Thanks,
you
dude.
for all these, man.
Yeah, you're welcome.
This is,
Well, we brought these for
Hopefully-
you guys.
Yeah,
Oh, you
yeah,
did?
Yeah.
oh my God!
Those are
Thank
Chris's.
you.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
Chris's. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we
I'm gonna walk these to Starbucks.
Yeah, we
oh
brought
my
you those
God!
guys.
Amazing! Congratulations, bro.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
mean,
brother.
this is listen, especially nowadays. Nowadays, a lot of shoe companies, they don't do pro shoes anymore. It's
No.
kind of like a dying thing. They do
is.
colorways,
I feel
which
blessed,
is awesome.
bro.
But
I feel super stoked and honored to still for these companies to still want to do
bro,
stuff
you're
with
still
me.
killing it,
Yeah,
dude. What are you
dude, you're-
talking
you've been
about,
a big deal.
man?
You've been holding it down for a long
It's
time.
all right.
Big deal.
You know,
Let
I
that ego shine right now.
Nah,
man.
I can't. Can't. I can't. I'm thankful, man. It can all be taken away. That's the beauty of it. Is you gotta stay present, and I have to stay present, and I have to stay in the moment, and yeah, this is really cool today, but like, who knows what tomorrow is, you know? Like, I got to stay in that mindset
Sure.
Yeah.
to like keep myself
Well,
sane.
I think that the beautiful thing about it is why, not that you've been around because of this reason, but Pierre and Don, like being skateboarders themselves.
For sure.
Like just that connection of you guys. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful thing to ride and work with actual skateboarders.
Yeah, it's dope.
Yeah.
It's dope 'cause
Because
it's-
you work for like a corporate thing. They don't understand what your deal is initially, right?
Right. They
Yeah.
want to see, they want to see action and numbers and results and
Yeah.
things like that, which is totally fine. That's what, like I'm used to that as well. But like
Totally.
when I go into Soltech and I'm sitting there with Pierre actually designing a new shoe, it's like, this is dope.
Yeah, the owner. It's
You know,
like,
this is actually super dope, and
Mm-hmm.
and he's stoked, and he's got ideas, and then I bounce ideas off of him, and we end up coming up with a cool new shoe, and that's really how the Estrella came about. Was like me and Pierre were just like, what would be sick? What would be kind of different? Like, what haven't we seen in a long time, or like what haven't we seen in general? And the beauty of Soltech is being able to like pull from America S, and
yeah.
there's not only Etnies to like pull from, like there's inspiration from 3 brands. So super sick.
That's
Okay.
right.
It's so funny, man. I think it's funny that you just put your initials and not your, like you.
Yeah, I
it's
don't
funny,
brand
like,
it. I don't brand it.
It's funny. I mean, a lot of skaters will be like, "Yep, my name right there on the
Yeah.
thing and the thing," and put just across the whole sheet.
And
like,
we even did it where it doesn't even really say RS. It's just the R8.
oh, because this one's a R8,
Yeah.
right? But
So
the R8 is taken from the 4th shoe or something like that,
It's
right?
taken from a lot of the shoes.
Okay, a
from
lot of
like
them.
from
Got
the
you.
first. So that'll be my 8th pro model. But
right.
I don't know if the Marana would have done as well as it did if my name was on the front of it. To be honest with you, bro.
What do you mean?
That's
To be
actually
honest.
that's honestly cool to hear you say that. You know what I mean? Like, do you
I'm
understand?
dead serious.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but it did do well. It's still doing well. And now I'm comfortable saying like, yeah, this is my shoe. But
But like a lot of people's, like you said, like their ego would be in the way, like, yo, that's my shoe.
Yeah, no,
you know, it's like
it was just easy to like just skate this and talk about it and not really have like, I mean, people that knew,
Yeah.
but like, the kid that didn't, he was like, oh, that's just a good shoe. And that's really all we wanted. I just wanted kids to like feel comfy and like actually have a shoe that lasted a long time.
that's been a
funny,
big
man.
staple shoe in the Etnies line for a long time.
Yeah.
for sure.
When you're going through like a design, like the Estrella or something, like what do you like? How many iterations do you do? Like, is there like I'm sure there's a process. There's a waiting time for samples. There's
Yeah.
time to think about it.
It's a little bit easier to design if you're using a sole that is already existing.
Got
Yeah.
you.
So for us and the Estrella, I didn't want to use something that was already done. So that's why this one took a little bit of time, because we actually we 100% recreated, or not recreated, we created a new sole for this thing. So like this mandala that I put in there is like part of some of the tattoos that I have.
Okay.
And I wanted to have a break in the bottom of the shoe for when you're pushing, so that it doesn't actually pinch your toe. So like
Okay. Yeah.
it's got a little bit more push. Like
I love
when you're
that.
actually
Okay.
pushing, you're not pinching.
I can see that. Yeah.
And then just like a normal tread.
Okay.
I love this tread. I think it's tried and true, and it works. And then I mean, obviously it looks like the heel is higher than it is, but if it's really the sole's down at this the second rivet here.
Gotcha.
So
Right.
it's actually a pretty flat shoe, which is nice, but it's built up to last. I think that was the goal, was like just to last, and kind of put this like window here, which is kind of an ode to the rap from back in the day.
Gotcha.
And then what me and Pierre really wanted to do was like almost create a kind of tree trunk looking thing, like you're planted into the ground, like you're rooted in the ground.
Oh, interesting. These, I used to play Little League, the straps on your socks.
Yeah.
Like, they would fit right in.
So this is kind of like the inspo, it wasn't for that, but it works for that.
I would buy
Wear
them.
them to T-ball if you want, right, Chris?
But yeah, it's just
Bro, Little League.
it was just one of those things where it's like Etnies has such an environmental like positive footprint with buy a shoe, plant a tree, and they've been planting thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of trees, and we just wanted to be planted into the ground. So that's pretty much like once it connects to your ankle, like you're rooted in the ground. And
I see little backstories.
Yeah,
right?
that's
I'm
great.
really gonna hear these. I love it.
it's cool, man. It's fun to be able to have the opportunity to like create another shoe.
Yeah,
man, it's like it's awesome
for
And
sure.
you threw this.
Yeah, and I brought back the
laces.
Yes.
Good.
the extra shoelace.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
That was
Thank
like-
you for bringing it back
Straight
because
That was my favorite thing when I got shoes as a kid. Was like, oh yes, I had a drawer full of shoelaces.
Yeah.
And, like, and then it kind of stopped happening, and I was like, guys, this is the most important thing to me. It's like
shoelace.
bring the shoelace back.
Especially if you utilize it, you know.
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
for
'Cause
sure.
A lot of kids these days do break laces, and you can throw
Yeah.
another little option in there.
No, when you're
Right.
buying the shoe, to give it that different option is awesome, dude.
sure.
You go to school, you fucking
Yeah,
man.
man.
You know?
Yeah, you change it up, and it's
Yeah.
like blue. Like maybe I wouldn't ride the blue, but like some kids definitely gonna put the blue in there. I like a little bit more clean and like one tonal color, but like
I could see
That's
the
my
blue.
style.
Yeah. Especially
You
if
know?
it's got the hits, like the red
Yeah.
hit, the red laces, the red. You know what I mean? Like the ties the shoe
it'll
together.
pop off
Yeah.
for sure.
For sure.
It's a little loud for me, but it's all right. It's
Man.
like it's gonna be perfect for someone else.
Like white laces with these, I can see that. You know,
it's
for
a
sure.
little loud too.
It's a little loud, but it's okay.
It's all right.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, stoked.
Holy, and thank you for my daily drivers.
Yeah, you're
These are going to
welcome.
be amazing, bro.
You're gonna run faster in those.
Well,
Yeah.
damn, I'm gonna tie them up tight. You know,
We're
I'm gonna-
surfing
I'm gonna
this
run.
thing.
Yeah, dude. No, but seriously, congrats.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing. 25 plus years
Man.
just doing it, and the R8s, bro,
Yeah.
love it, man. I'm psyched on these, man, for real. I do. Can you touch a little bit more on this Red Bull part? I know you don't want to like spoil it.
Sure.
It's going to be like a big thing.
Sure.
You've been working on it for 3+ years. You said
Yeah,
so.
close to 3.
3 years.
Close to 3.
What is it? What's it all about? Is it just a street part?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, that's it.
Yeah,
Is it
well-
a part of something, a bigger project, or is it just
It turned into 2 projects. So
Okay.
ideally or originally, I was only supposed to have like maybe a trick in You Good.
Oh,
Because I was healing from a different injury from ETN.
Oh my god!
wait.
Yeah,
Let's
bro.
pause this. Let's
Yeah.
talk about
Forgot about that.
Are we
Yeah.
the hubba that
Yeah.
went down?
Bad decision.
Let's talk about that. What were you trying, and what?
I was just trying to
happened?
front 50 a beveled edge, 15 flat, 15 stair.
And this was for like a live segment.
Yeah, it was. I don't even remember
yes,
what
I
it was
forgot.
called or what it was for. I know it was for ETN.
Face melters, wasn't
yeah,
it?
Yeah,
something
face
like that.
melters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And I don't know, man. I had been skating so much and filming before that. I think we were working on something, and I was so sore, but I had like committed to doing it, and I thought I could do it. You know, I was in Diamond Bar, and I went and I checked this thing out a few times, and like I went there, I did my homework, and I was like, okay, like it seems possible. Like maybe if people are here and I get hyped, like I can do it.
Okay.
Wasn't the case. You know, like the one I stood up on to like try to take, I really did was like, oh, actually this is gonna work. But I remember like telling myself beforehand, like there's like 2 spots that are going to be like really catastrophic
Okay.
if I bail at these 2 spots.
What were
which
the
was,
2
like,
spots?
exactly in the middle of the flat or right at the edge of the second down.
Why in the middle? That seems like a safe place to be.
The way I had to get on to the grind, like I had to be so hovered over the board, and I had to have my weight over the set this way. So like
Interesting. So if you did mess up, you're going back.
I'm either gonna like tumble down from the top of the stairs, which in retrospect was a better play.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would have been better
Yeah.
for sure. I could have maybe got out of there a little less jacked.
Okay.
The worst spot was the spot I actually fell at. And you got to figure, dude, it's like 15 stair. But that wall was another, like, I don't know, 5 feet from the top of the set. And when it rolled out, I tried to get a jump. And I tried to make it to the bottom of the set, which I kind of did. But I sat on my right ankle. And I put my left foot into the ground so hard that, like, from it whapping the ground, it, like, I got stress fractures through my ankle. But I completely broke my right ankle. And I ended up breaking my freaking L1 in my back, too.
What?
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Dude.
So I crushed my L1 and broke both my ankles in one fall.
Oh my
dude.
God.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, elbows are way better to break.
Yeah, dude.
I've never been more broke off from a fall. That's the gnarliest fall I've ever had.
Wow.
And that one sucked. Dude. The craziest thing though was, like, I remember I yelled. Like, I obviously yelled. I was borderline screamed just because my body didn't, like, that's how it let go of, like, what really just happened.
Yeah.
And then I didn't look at my ankles because I felt like they were both backwards. Like, I just knew in my head, like, my ankles are backwards. Like, how am I going to get them back around? And then I just remember seeing Danny's face, Danny Way, and was like, are my ankles backwards? And he's like, looking at my feet. I'm like, are they backwards? He's like, no, they're straight. I'm like, oh, okay. So I got up. I got up and I started walking around, and I could just feel, dude, it felt like I felt like I was walking on, like, Jell-O or something. Like, I could just feel it, and I just knew.
Like,
but
nothing was there.
But I had so much adrenaline that I just, like, sat down. I'm like, whoa, that was gnarly, you know? Like, oh, that could have been way worse. And I did an interview, and then, like, hobbled to my car, which was, like, parked up the street. So, like, walked super far to my car, and then got in there, and I sat down, and then immediately, like, everything kind of hit, and I was in excruciating pain. And I had to drive from Diamond Bar back down to San Clemente, and it was a weekend, so, like, I couldn't get into my orthopedic surgeon. No. So I'm like on the phone with him. I was in surgery. I was in surgery the next day.
Seriously?
Yeah. So we went straight in, got the MRIs. He checked him out. He was like, "Hey, left foot's broke, but it's not, like, surgery worthy. We'll deal with that. Your right ankle, you've torn everything. And you chipped off all these bones, and, like."
You're driving with that ankle, by the way.
I sat in the back of the car.
You did?
My buddy drove me home.
Okay.
There's no way I could drive.
Got you.
The second I got into my car is when everything hit, and I was like, and then all of a sudden I'm like, so I get the surgery. It's all good. Dealing with the left ankle, right ankle's, like, healing. It's going to be a long time. That was, like, another year and 2 month recovery for that. But, like, 6 months in, I'm like, I'm like doing physical therapy, and I can't get my back to, like, my back feels crazy. And I thought maybe it was from just, like, sitting on the couch or, like, just recovery, you know? And I ended up going and getting an MRI and a CAT scan, and, dude, I blew out the whole bottom of my L1 from hitting my tailbone on the ground. And then I watched the clip again. It's like a full blown, like, it was the way I was sitting, and it just crunched my back. So then I'm like, dude, I'm already half a year into this recovery, and now I just figured out this. I'm like, dude, I'm never gonna, like, when am I gonna catch a break?
Damn.
And so I'm asking this doctor. He's a really good spinal surgeon. Like, if you just strengthen your core, and, like, not the abs, like, the core around your spine, like, you'll be fine. It might flare up every once in a while, which it does, but it's fine. And that's why I train so much. I really do. Like, I got to keep these little floating pieces of my back in place.
Yeah. Wow.
And I got to keep my quads and my calves and my hamstrings strong so that my knee surgery stays intact. And I got to keep my calf strong on my right so that my ankle surgery stays intact. Like, I'm not training to be, like, some meathead dude. Like, I'm training for, like, longevity of, like, actually being able to, like, walk and skate.
Sure. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's for no other reason.
Dude, how devastating is that? Like, you break both your ankles, whatever, surgery, and then come to find out that your back.
Dude.
Way later you find out. Yeah.
Like half a year later, you're like.
I thought the guy was kidding, because I walked into the room after the MRI, and I, like, saw this photo of, like, a spine on his computer, and I thought it was just like I thought it was a screensaver, honestly. And it was like this one chunk that was, like, supposed to look like the other ones, like, perfectly square, was just, like, mangled and the bottom was just like exploded. And I'm like, damn, whose spine is that? He's like, that's your spine, dude. And I'm like, no, impossible. He's like, I don't know how you haven't figured this out like before. Like, I don't know.
Well, you're a skateboarder, bro. There's a lot of things that skateboarders deal with that normal people would literally be in bed. They'd be bedridden.
I think about that all the time.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably tripping that you're standing, walking in there.
Oh, dude.
It was just a trip. It was definitely like insult to injury. So I like, and I'm not mad at you, Bragg. Bragg always apologizes. He always apologizes to me for it. I'm like, dude, I tried it.
Dude, I remember watching that happen. Me and Tom Astor were driving downtown to go skate, and he was like holding it up. I was like kind of like watching it, and that happened, and you screamed, and he was, oh, and we all just like, we just didn't talk. That was one of those things that was like, it's.
I felt so bad because my mom was watching too, and like, you know, she knows now at this point to like, she waited until I called her, and then like, she couldn't wait any longer because I didn't call. I didn't really call anyone. I didn't know. I was in like shock. I was actually in shock. I was like, damn, what just happened? You know, like what? I like just recovered from a previous injury before that. Like, dude, I had like a really gnarly run of like 6 years of getting hurt, getting better, getting hurt, tearing something, breaking something. And then I got better and I'm good from that. And I'm filming this Red Bull part again, like starting to film this Red Bull part again. And then just like, I'm fully back into street mode, and like we're out like 3-4 times a week. Like every weekend is for the streets. And I'm like, dude, this is dope. COVID's happening. So like spots are open, and I'm just like, I'm hammering it, and we're getting clips, and like, I'm really in a groove. And then I just stepped off wrong, dude. I stepped off wrong and like hyperextended my knee, and my other knee hit it, and I just felt the pop, and I refused to believe it.
Your other knee. Wait.
I was coming down a bank.
Okay.
So like, I was like trying to warm up I was trying to back three to get ready for a different trick, and I'm coming down the bank, and I kind of got offset, and my leg landed, and it like locked.
Okay.
And then I was still twisting, and my other knee hit my knee while it was locked out.
I see what you're saying. Because the back three makes sense for that to happen.
And it popped.
Wow.
But I just thought it was like a super gnarly dead leg, but I did feel the pop. I was like, so I chilled for like 15 minutes with my legs up, and then all of a sudden it's like it came back. So like apparently the ACL, like it just hurts for a little bit and then it comes back.
Okay.
And so I got a trick. I didn't get the trick I wanted, but I got a different trick.
Oh, you kept skating?
Yeah. So I was stoked. I got the trip.
Okay.
And I knew in my head, I'm like, dude, this knee is either like really bad or that was just a fluke thing. And so I didn't go to the doctor because it was like out of sight, out of mind, you know? Like, I don't want to know. It doesn't matter. Like, I got clips to get.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, I'm in it now. And so like a couple weeks went by, and then I could finally skate again. So it took me like 10 days to be able to skate again. So I kind of knew something was up. And then I just kept trying to get clips. Got a few. And then randomly I was just walking my dog, dude, and I like hit a little pothole or something on the beach trail, and my whole knee just like, I was like, no, like something's up.
It's time.
Yeah, something's up.
Get it checked out.
And then I went to try to get one of my enders, out of the way, and then it really went wrong. And so I went to the doctor the day after that. I couldn't get the trick. Went to the doctor, and my guy Warren Kramer is like the best surgeon. He's done five of my surgeries.
Wow.
All of them.
Okay.
And they've all come back better. I've just hurt a different part of my body.
Yeah.
So I went to him, and he was like, you have 0 ACL and it's rubbing on your meniscus. Like, we need to do surgery. And the beauty of that, and like honestly where I'm super blessed, is like I got to get into surgery day after.
Beautiful.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I've always been able to get into surgery immediately,
which is a good thing.
which is so like, dude, I'm beyond thankful for that, because I know a lot of dudes that do get hurt and they have to wait and like wait for their insurance, or like,
It's
you know, like
ridiculous.
thank God I have great insurance. And yeah, there's so many blessings, dude.
Yeah.
And like, you never really think to be thankful for that, but like I can get into surgery right away.
Right.
And that means that I get on my board that much quicker.
Sure. Yeah.
So
It's crazy, man. It's funny that you mentioned, I think you mentioned it twice already tonight, was going back and watching your falls. Like, that doesn't bother you when you go back and watch like a fall that really, I mean, that ETN fall was pretty buck.
it sucked for sure. I watch it without volume.
Okay,
Yeah.
you don't want to hear the scream.
Yeah, I can't hear it, dude. Because that's what takes me back. Not the slam, it's the sound.
The sounds, yeah.
It was like I don't know that I've ever screamed, you know? Like, so that was like really out of pocket, like out of character for me. And like that allows me to know, and like, that's how much my body knew something was wrong. And it just like, it was like, oh no, you know? And like, I don't know. I didn't plan on screaming. It just happened.
No,
Damn.
So I can't hear that. Like I
That's
can't.
okay.
I can't
But
hear.
you can
I
watch
can watch it.
Okay.
And I watch it, and it just like,
Because you want to see what happened. You want to know what the hell.
my body was right.
detected.
Everything was right, man. And it just like, it just went over the edge. And I tried to jump, and I missed the jump. I didn't get a good jump.
Right.
If I could have made it all the way to flat, like normal, I would have been fine. Yeah, I would have heel bruised, probably been, hurt.
Yeah.
Might have been able to try it again, or like might have switched my trick. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really think about it.
Didn't Aiden board slide it?
But yeah,
Was that after or before?
it was after.
It was after.
He's gnarly, dude.
Damn.
He's gnarly. Yeah. I was like, oh man, maybe I should try a lip slider or something.
What was it? What? Refresh my memory. So what spot was it? Was it somebody that somebody did a trick on that already, or
I think someone had tried to grind it. I don't really know
was
the
it like
backstory.
an NBD spot or something?
I'd
I don't-
never seen anyone do it, but it was one of those things. Bragg probably saw it. Was like,
This.
I would have.
Yeah.
We need to take
Okay,
people here.
okay.
That's my assumption.
Someone knew, maybe Ira. Someone
Yeah.
did try to like grind it, or maybe grinded the top of it, and then landed on the flat, and then did like kind of skirted out and didn't hit it as like a double.
Got you.
I'm imagining it's like Ira is filming the Warco video.
It's possible.
And then he saw like, and then that
It's
was
possible.
there. Yeah.
It's possible. Very possible.
Because
God
those dudes
bless
got
Ira.
buck in that video. So
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way. Either way.
Either way.
I got smoked.
You got
Wait,
smoked.
so how long was the last injury? The surgery, I'm sorry.
That surgery was a little over a year and a half, I believe.
Oh, so you're good now then, right?
Oh, I'm great.
So we're wrapping
Awesome.
up. We're wrapping
Yeah,
up the
yeah.
Red Bull video.
Yeah. It's finally getting wrapped up. I mean, I've been filming for, no, I guess it might be closer to a little over a year and a half, because I've been filming for like 7 months again now, or six or
Okay.
7 months now. I literally have like 3 or 4 clips left to get.
Oh, that's
Oh,
it.
okay,
Oh, that's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Who are you out in the streets with now? Like, who's the main filmer?
Ira.
Oh,
Oh,
back
hell
again with
yeah.
Ira.
Yeah.
Sick,
Yeah.
dude. That's rad.
Yeah.
Shout out Ira, dude.
I love Ira,
He's
bro.
the best.
What is it like filming with him out in the streets, man? Because he's such an energetic dude.
Yeah, he helps me so much.
Yeah.
He helps me so much, and like, I skate with him. Mike helps film, and then like skater wise, like I'm skating with David Reyes. He's been with me for the whole project, and I made sure of that like I had a bro to travel with that like would just like help me and like be there, and like obviously David gets to keep all his footage, and like hopefully at the end of this thing he'll have a part 2 that can go somewhere, and and it's looking that way, and it's really rad. But I don't know, David's like my brother, and we skate really well together, and I'm able to take direction from Dave. Dave really helps me skateboard.
That's dope.
He helps me like see it a different way, like sometimes I get stuck in my head of like thinking I have to do a trick that's gnarlier than what actually needs to be done at the spot that would still be very cool and like
Sure.
and current or whatever, like, and something that I can actually do. So he really helps me like mentally feel comfortable on a skateboard, and I don't know, it's hard to explain the relationship. The closest I can say is like that's my brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've been through a lot together, and he's sober as well, so it's nice to have a sober bro on the trip, and
amazing.
it keeps it fun, and we keep each other accountable, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Beautiful.
You know what's rad is when you have skaters like that really connect, that can watch each other skate while they're trying a trick, and from a different perspective, like, hey, dude, maybe like go a little slower or something.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I trust him. You know,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the thing. Is like we've skated for so many years together that I trust Dave.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if he tells me that a trick is like possible, like I believe that, you know? And
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
even when I'm struggling, he's like, bro, take it to the basics. Just get one. Start. Like, he's got all these terms that are like, that help me so much. It's like, nah, dude, phase one. Like, go back to phase one, which is like just touching it, you know, or like just flicking it, like not trying to do the whole thing. Like, okay, phase two now. And it's like, it's almost weird. Like, he's like, not a coach by any means, but like, he's my guy that like, I don't really like to skate alone. I've never really been a dude that can skate alone. I can't get motivated. And like, I also like worry about like hitting my head being alone and like, you know, like, because it's possible and it's probably something that I would do. And so yeah, and it's hard for me to get motivated to go like skate something and just be the only one skating.
Yeah,
I like
that
I
energy.
Like the vibe.
Energy, man. Yeah.
I like the vibe.
Yeah.
Especially for jumping down stuff. It's a lot of.
And I'm skating a lot of like weird stuff. You know, like I'm going up a lot of things that people are going down, like bringing the bungee. Like I'm skating different. It's like, it's so fun right now. It's, you know, bring the bungee out, getting towed into a lot of things. And
Oh, I can't wait to see this part, dude.
it's, man, you know, I'm not trying to upsell it. It's just fun. I'm having fun.
That's
That's
I mean,
what it's all about,
that's
bro.
those are the best
basics.
parts.
Yeah.
Those
I'm
are the
having
best
fun.
parts.
It's rad.
So you were saying that like this part was this happened when the ETN stuff, you were already filming for this part, or that stemmed from the ETN part?
No, it stemmed from You Good.
You Good,
Yeah,
okay.
because I ended up getting a bunch of clips for You Good that I didn't know I was going to be able to get. You know,
Right.
they invited me to go to Taiwan, and I had just kind of healed from all the madness. It was over a year before, you know, so like
Okay.
I had some time to heal. And they were just like, yeah, you want to come? And I was like, dude, sure. I don't know what I'm going to be able to get, you know, but like skating with Zion and
Oh,
Jamie
wow.
is always gnarly. And like, I just started feeling good, you know. I was like sober, my mind was clear, like I was ready to skate, everything felt good. And I was able to skate every spot we were going to, except for like some of the like big rails. Like I wasn't ready for it yet, but like I wanted it, you know. I was like, I kind of had to pick my battles, you know.
Sure.
And I just didn't want to get hurt again, which is kind of like
It's weird
kind
how
of
that
a
it
wussy
plays
thing to say,
yeah,
but
it
it's
plays
like,
on your mind, man.
I had just got better, and I was
Yeah.
like, man, my last slam was gnarly. But dude, it's like it didn't really matter because like I still did the tail drop into the thing, which like to me it was like just a big skate park obstacle. So that's how I justified it. Like,
Okay.
it's fine.
It's gnarly.
Didn't
But so-
Midler have a part in there too?
Yeah, Midler had an insane part.
Yeah, you know, it was really cool to actually see it. I think about it now is that all four of you guys in that video have really supportive parents.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? Like you look back at it, like, you know,
Oh, Jamie Foy,
Zion,
yeah.
Midler, and
Yeah,
like you.
totally.
Like you look at that, you're like, wow, this is like a group of dudes that grew up loving skateboarding. Their parents really help.
like we're stoked on it too.
Yeah, and push them. And
It's important, I think,
that
yeah.
was really. I just realized that now.
It's huge, man.
Yeah.
No, that's
Huge.
definitely very impactful.
Yeah,
Damn.
that was cool.
So we got the Red Bull thing to look forward to. Do we know when that's dropping, or we're going to take our time whenever you get your last 4 tricks?
God willing, it will
Okay.
be out in October.
Ooh, music.
Got you.
You have anything picked out?
We do.
Credence?
We do. We're working on. We're working on it right
Really
now.
I'm pushing for Credence, but
One day,
it'll
Chris.
be a 2-song part.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm really stoked.
As long as you're
Love
stoked,
it, dude.
that's
Yeah.
all that matters, man.
Yeah, so hopefully I can get these last couple clips and then we will
Film another part.
Keep it.
start it over.
Yes.
How are you right now? I mean, do you want to do any more contests? Are you over
Yeah,
that? Or?
no, I signed.
No.
I'm signed up for 3 years of the PSA contest, the Premier Skateboarding Association with Manny
Go, Manny Santiago.
Santiago.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like,
Dope.
I'm all about. I did that like trial contest at the barracks
Mm-hmm.
and had a blast. And like, if that's how the format is, it's like 3-minute jams, and I get to skate with the bro. Like,
yeah.
sure,
You're done.
I will.
It's
I will
dope, yeah.
100% do that.
What about street leagues? No street leagues?
I'm not in street league. Not for any reason. I'm gonna do Manny's thing.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah.
When is that supposed to start?
We have our first contest is July 9th at SoFi Stadium.
That's amazing.
At
dude.
SoFi.
On the field.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Dude, that is
Dope.
fucking real dope, dude.
Yeah.
Can I come?
Yeah, 100%. You guys are all invited.
Thank
You guys need a
bro.
judge. Hit
Thank
me up.
you.
Yeah.
You need an announcer. My voice would sound great in that stadium.
Whatever we can do.
Yeah,
huh?
whatever we can
I
participate.
mean, you know,
Yeah.
let's definitely get y'all there, and it's just it's rad to have a contest back in LA that like I was so used to for 10 plus years, like competing at X Games in LA, and it was like super sad when it left because I felt like that's where it belonged was LA. So all these years later, like in a brand new stadium,
Damn.
to be able to like have our first like real event there
Crazy.
is like dope. And we got to go. We went there last week, I think.
Yeah, I saw that.
On their Instagram, you
Yeah, we were-
like
yeah.
a ribbon cutting. kind
Yeah.
of deal,
They
but-
were like letting us skate everything, and there's spots there. Maybe they weren't letting us. We kind of just did it,
Yeah.
and then they like figured out we were doing it, and so it kind of got a little bit more tight, like security. But like initially, we were like, "There's spots there, bro."
I'm sure. I haven't been there yet, but I could imagine.
Yeah,
There's
that's
spots there.
amazing.
I mean, that thing
That's
is
awesome, dude.
Now, is it going to be
massive.
like concrete cement parks, or how is it going to work?
That's a good question. I'm sure it's going to be concrete. It's kind of going to be like built in and then taken out,
Right,
you
right,
know.
Right.
But I think for the results that they're looking for, like concrete would probably be the best
Yeah,
option.
sure.
I'd be stoked with like an old school detour course where
Oh,
it's just
hell
like
yeah.
BMX park. like,
Right.
Right.
I love that, but
Damn.
no, I think it'll be dope. I just like the format.
Okay.
3-minute jams, two tricks per jam, winner take all.
Love it.
Amazing.
I love it, man. What about Olympics? Anything? What's going on?
I don't know.
We going for it?
Man, I mean, at the end of the day, it'd be like, yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be
Sure.
super cool to represent America at the Olympics. Is it something that I'm like right now planning for, like preparing for, like training for? No, it's not.
No.
But if there was an opportunity, or like if this contest series leads to some sort of like qualification for it, sure, I'm all about it.
Right.
But it's a little too far in the future for me to like prepare for. And skating's so finicky, man. Like I don't know. I
Yeah.
just want to film.
Yeah.
You know, at this point, I just want to film and like enjoy this brand that we've just created and started, and like see what that looks like. And who knows, man? If it's in God's plans for me to be at the Olympics, then I'll be there.
Hey,
but
just do you.
if not, then
You
it's
know?
all good.
Yeah.
You know, have you ever? I know you're still young, one skate and everything, but have you ever thought about like announcing like any of these concerts, like Andrew Cannon style almost? Because I feel like you'd be really good at that.
I've done it a few times.
Okay.
You know? I've definitely done it a few times when I'm like hurt, and it's super fun. But at the end of the day, like I still feel like I should be competing.
there.
You'd be out
You
there.
know, like I
Yeah.
still feel like, man, this isn't it yet. Like I still have something to give.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think you do too.
Whether it's
Like, honestly.
competing or not, you know,
Yeah.
it's just like skating in general. Like I finally have an opportunity in my career now to like actually focus on video parts. Like
Yeah.
how dope is that? And I don't have to go skate a crazy drop. I don't have to skate any way that anyone wants me to. I get to go skate. So like whatever spot looks fun to me, if I do something that I'm stoked on, like it's probably good enough, you know?
Hey,
Totally.
as long as you're out there doing what you do and have fun, that's all that matters. You
Yeah.
know, because we just want to see you skate.
And I just want to skate. So
That's
it's
what it
like
boils down
perfect.
to.
There it is.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know, man, I'm excited for you, bro.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
dude, like sponsored since you were 7. Think about that. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
It's gnarly, man.
You're 33, bro. Good.
You've done well. You've done
We got a lot of time left, dude.
We're alive,
gonna,
man. You know?
and we're gonna see you with the shoe, the couple shoes you got coming out. 25 years with Etnies. You got the Red Bull part.
Yep.
2 songs. Did you say you already had the songs picked out, or you're still working on it?
We're trying to get
With the
to get the
rights.
rights to
Rights,
one.
yeah.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
like
that's
the super important one.
That's the one. Okay.
So I'm not even gonna put it out there. Just
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
But you can
Yeah.
confirm it's not Credence.
I can confirm it's not Credence.
Okay. I love CCR, man. Dude, congrats on everything, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
bro,
seriously,
second
thank
that.
you for coming on the show. You're welcome back here anytime.
No, I
dude.
appreciate it, man.
But
I
it's not over
appreciate
yet,
it.
though. we'd love to give you some 9 Club swag. We got a
Sweet.
swag bag if you want to take home with you.
I'll be stoked.
Kelly, we do the
Yeah.
honors, bro.
Size large, medium?
Yeah, large.
Okay.
Man. And I love the fact that, listen, I know that you're keeping in shape because of your injuries. You got to keep your back in place, your core and everything.
For sure.
However, it is super important also. Like if you were totally fine and you know,
I'd still be training.
you know what I'm saying?
I'm addicted to
Like,
it.
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's an endorphin like release for me, and it's part of the structure that I was talking about, earlier in the day. It's like if I don't have that structure, if I don't get to like test my body or like, put up a cool number or like a PR, like I'm just like hard to deal with, So like I do it for the people around me. I do it for myself.
Okay, yeah.
For sure. Like
Right.
I need that, man. Like I need that. I'm a very like addictive
yeah.
personality, So like if I sink my teeth into something, good or bad, like I'm in, So
Right.
what I'm doing is just sinking into good and healthy.
I love it, man. I love it. And congrats on being sober
Thanks,
and
man.
everything. Which, to be honest with you, I didn't even know that you had an addiction with alcohol or had to go to treatment and all that stuff. Maybe I just missed
No,
that, or
I kept it, dude. I tried to keep it as I had like 2 personalities.
Yeah,
I had
okay.
like the behind the closed doors that like
Jekyll and Hyde.
some of my friends knew and like were kind of worried about, and then I had like the on camera like guy that couldn't really talk about
Right.
the alcohol.
Sure.
So it's I mean I hit it well, but I was only hindering myself.
For
so
sure.
super blessed though to be able to like catch it.
Yeah. No, totally.
Catch it before it killed me.
Listen, and I think it's very important too, because like you talking about it and you dealing with your issues on this show, like can help other people out there saying like, oh man, like if Ryan can do it, I can do it.
For sure. I mean, you just got to know like you're not alone,
Exactly.
like you're not alone. And you'd be
We're not
actually surprised how many skateboarders are sober.
Yeah.
Like big name
Big
skateboarders that are
names.
sober
I
that
mean, Reynolds, a lot
Yeah,
of people have
man.
come on our show and talked about their alcoholism. And I mean, like literally like 95% of the Baker team sober.
yeah,
You
it's
know,
rad.
it's like
It's rad.
there was the pissed drunks.
Yeah.
And now they're sober.
For sure.
And I think that's a good example, you
Yeah.
know? And I think them talking about it, you talking about it is an awesome thing.
It's
So
it's
thanks for
healthy
sharing.
yeah, you're welcome, man. And it's definitely healthy to talk about things that are like issues for yourself, like in a public setting.
Yeah.
Because
that are hard to talk about.
For sure,
Yeah.
because it allows you to get vulnerable, allows you to be honest, and then you never know, you might actually get help from that, or you might hear that like, oh, it's actually relieving to talk about things that are uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
And instead of leaving them in and letting them grow and just like morph into this like impossible thing to deal with, when actually it was probably not that hard to deal with if you just got honest and put it out there.
Man, I'm stoked for you, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I really
appreciate
am,
it.
dude.
I
And I'm
appreciate
stoked that
it.
we got to sit down here and have this amazing conversation today.
Yeah, it's
we
fun.
covered a lot of stuff. But dude, first of all, bro, Ryan, dude, you're the man. Thank you
you.
so much for coming on the show.
Thank you guys.
Listen, okay, we got to stay hydrated out there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? This is a water bottle we did. Highland Peak, Scott Kane.
Kane.
You know,
Yeah.
the boy.
Yeah, brother.
Bro. Can we shout out Scott Kane really quickly?
Scott Kane,
The man.
the man, bro.
Yeah. Yep.
Switch heel, front nose, a rail back in 45 years ago. It's fucking incredible.
He's so good.
It's insane.
good.
And you know what's rad is seeing him on Instagram now. He's ripping.
Yeah, bro. He never stopped.
You never,
Yeah.
bro, he's killing it. But
Never
anyway,
stop.
Highland Peak for you right there, brother.
Dope.
We didn't have a lot of
Also-
larges left, so that's the only stuff we had.
We don't have a lot of larges left. Well,
Yeah.
listen, this
It's
is our
it's a hot size.
Yeah.
this is our motto right here: skaters supporting skaters.
Love that.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So there's a shirt for
Love
you.
that. Thank you.
There's a large switch flip switch Manny, which is my. You talked about the Costco gap, the right away.
I love it.
That's his Costco.
That's my
gap.
Costco
Oh,
gap
I love
right
it.
there.
I love
Okay, I never felt anything like that in my life. You
Dope.
know, right away from that
Dope.
trick. And a couple 9 Club tees for
Awesome,
you,
man.
dude. And also stickers. when you're on the podium at the SoFi Stadium, you put the
Yeah,
little
there you
stickers on
go.
your board. We give you $20.
You know
photo
what's up.
incentive.
You
You
know
know what
what's
I'm
up.
saying?
Just buy me lunch. We'll be good.
Hey,
Hey,
McDonald's on us. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe something else.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
a little healthier there,
Over
Chris.
McDonald's?
Roof's Chris.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
That'll work.
Awesome.
Stevie Williams.
These are nice stickers, though. These are nice
Jim
stickers.
Gray makes those stickers
These
for
are
us.
nice stickers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We
Keep
keep
it
it
in
in
the family
keep it,
there,
keep it in skateboarding.
There we go.
You know, Jim Gray.
I love stickers.
How many tattoos do we got now? Do have you count? Did you stop counting? When do you stop counting?
Couldn't tell you.
When do you stop counting?
I don't know, man. I honestly.
Is it after 10,
have
20?
No idea.
No idea.
No idea.
How many numbers do you have on you?
In total,
He has
I
no
don't know.
idea.
What was the last tattoo you got?
I got a tattoo on my ankle in Denver with David.
Okay.
303 sheriff's badge.
Oh. Does that have any significance?
It's just Sheriff Dave, you know. Like, so me and Dave have so many homie tats, bro, and that's kind of been like one of our things on this on filming for the project. It's
Yeah.
like at the end of a trip, if it's like we got some stuff, we'll just go get a homie tattoo, and
That's amazing.
man, we're like up to like 6 or 7 of them
Oh,
now.
dude.
So it's actually
So you're
becoming
keeping
like
track of those.
It's just
Yeah,
become like
yeah,
a
yeah.
thing.
You start over.
Yeah.
Now you just keep track of what the person you get it
Of
with.
the homie tats, yeah.
that's
So
it.
it's good, man. I don't have much space left. I have a couple
Okay.
spots on my stomach, and
Wow.
My
But
head.
there's a story for each one, bro.
there
go.
absolutely is.
Maybe you can get a 9 Club one after this comes out. You
Oh.
know, there you go.
on the stomach. You have room.
Where you have room.
If you guys go and get a 9 Club tattoo, I'll get one.
Wow. You know you're talking to 3 dudes right here that have no tattoos.
It could be this big.
That's what
and just like
That's
that.
pretty big though.
Yeah,
dude. Where
I
am
can
gonna
put it
get
anywhere.
that?
I can put it anywhere.
Yeah.
Well,
It's just
Kelly, you've
it's a
always-
homie tat. You just got to get it together.
You've always talked about the dolphin on your ankle that you want to get.
Yeah, I could get both at the same time.
You could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Wow. Wow.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm down.
That's a good one right there. Shit.
That's a good, yeah. Something I might get
Are we
tattooed
gonna
on.
get, are we gonna get 9 Club tattoos with Ryan Sheckler? I mean, is
Hey,
this gonna happen?
there's a story.
There
There is a story.
There is a story. It's weird though.
This will take about 15 minutes.
That's not bad. That's not a thing, right?
That's mellow, right?
Okay.
Where would you get it?
Right here on my bicycle.
So I look at that thing every day.
Ryan, thanks so much. for
Yeah,
coming.
thanks
Thank
for
you
having
guys,
me.
man.
That's
I appreciate
amazing.
it. Thanks for letting me talk, and I appreciate y'all, man.